Welcome everyone to another RGL cast. My name is Jared. I'm here with Wild Rumpus to bring you guys Money Balls versus Global Clan Zhao. This is RGL Invite 6's Season 19 lower bracket finals, and both these teams have had quite a run, but after this BO3 series, one team will fall short and take away third place, while the other move on to face Tech in the grand finals roughly 2 hours from now. So definitely very hype, all on the line. Pull out all the stocks. Make sure you pull out any last-minute secret strats to make sure that you take away the victory here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, third place is definitely not a bad showing, but I'm sure both of these teams are looking for a little bit more than that because, as you mentioned, whoever wins this goes on to Grands, guaranteed second place at the very least, with a real shot at taking home the trophy. But yeah, today is when it all gets decided.
Yep. And it is a BO3. I went to go check the maps, but the RGL site is down, so cool. The first map you can definitely see is going to be Gully. So.
Yeah, Gully Process Bagel. And Gully, I mean, we've seen has been a very comfortable pick for Moneyballs. So not surprising that it's the map that they go to here for map 1. And now I gotta check if in their previous matchup Moneyballs played against Global Clan Zhao on this map or not. I remember Process was definitely one of the maps, but I forget the others. It was Process and Bagel. Okay, so two of the maps that we do see here are maps that... oh, maybe it was the exact same match. Okay, I'm being told it was actually the exact same map lineup, so we are seeing the proper run back now of these two teams.
Yeah, both teams pretty confident that regardless of whatever happened last time, that their best shot is, still the same. They're confident that they can, improve on whatever mistakes they had that made things difficult the previous time, and that can be said for both teams. I'm sure, even though Moneyballs won the previous matchup, it took some work to actually win it. There was a lot of things that slowed down the game a little bit, a lot of sniper, a lot of going behind and things of that nature that prevented a victory in a timely manner. But they're still like, hey, Gully Wash is going to be our ticket to victory, which, I mean, Global Clan Zhao has banned Gully Wash a lot in the past, and they lost the matchup, obviously, so, or, no, wasn't it Bagel that was played first? Either way, I think a lot of the times Global Clan Zhao has been not favorable towards Gully in a lot of their pick bans throughout the regular season, so I think it was kind of obvious if you keep track of all the different pick bans that this is going to be a map that they weren't necessarily going to be that amazing on in the first place, and it would be favorable for other teams to pick, so we're seeing that here again. And Process, Global Clan Zhao, they didn't look that bad on Process, even though they weren't able to take it in the previous matchup. That was where I feel like a lot of the sniper that we saw happened, and to be honest, sniper can be annoying in general to play against, can slow the game down, etc., etc. But it also, if you play your cards right, it can be your ticket to victory, and that it could be the thing that makes or breaks like an even stalemated game and all of a sudden into an upset victory. So I'm also unsurprised to see that picked once again.
Yeah, and I'm actually looking at the logs from their last matchup. So Process was a 5-1. So Zhao got on the board, but still pretty confident. Less than 30 minutes win for Moneyballs. But Gully Wash was just a complete stomp. And I think that, I mean, one big thing, if you are Global Clan Zhao coming back into this matchup, obviously, like, the map you're getting hard rolled 5-0 on. But, I mean, if it's so many mid to lasts, then you clean up your mids and you focus on that on Gully Wash, and suddenly, like, the map could be flipped on its head.
Yeah, Gully Wash is one of those maps where it's not about the level of practice per se, in terms like, it's not like Sunshine level where it's like matching up left and right mids to each other all the time, because I feel like most of the time Gully Wash people don't do right mids as much. They mostly default to their own side as a standard. But even still, I feel like there's a variety of strategies when it comes down to target selection, which can throw the enemy team for a loop. Because you could just instantly kill the demo, but you could just send for the medic in big door. You could try to kill one of the soldiers underneath. And I think that variety is something that is difficult to pull off in other mid fights as a strategy, like baseline on paper type thing. And that can make it so that if you're kind of an underdog team, you can keep the other team that is normally people would consider better, kind of on their toes, and it's hard for them to sweep, mid to last, even though Gully Wash can be pretty volatile and you can have your 60-second rounds every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
But despite that, you still see the teams that are considered the favorite to be picking it for various other reasons as well, considering the way that you pressure cook into last, and the way that you can control flanks slightly better because there's less options for people to go behind and things of that nature. Which, considering if you've been watching Global Clan Zhao, they do that a lot, is kind of their go-to when they're in disadvantageous scenarios, and I am not too sure we'll be seeing much different this late into the season. I think if Global Clan Zhao fans would be, like, extremely happy to see, like, a last-minute curveball to try to throw off their opponents, but it's kind of difficult for teams to do in playoff mode because you really stick to what you know and you're practicing your comfort, especially if you're kind of on the back foot, which, even though both teams are lower bracket, I think Global Clan Zhao is the team that's definitely feeling the heat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing I'm noticing here as I exec my name config is usually we've had Robotnik or Aimer as a soldier for Global Clan Zhao. I see Zam in the server.
Yeah, so the roster is, for Global Clan Zhao, is Minaj and Moose on Scout, Zam and Fancy Sun on Soldier, Robotnik aka Aimer on Demo, and Dinko on Medic. Tiny is not here, and they have shifted their roamer to the demo end position and thrown Zam into the mix.
Yeah, I'd say that's for sure a roster upgrade, honestly. I mean,
Zam just won last season.
Yeah, of course. Like, Zam is probably I'd say slight upgrade over Aimer, but Aimer Demo is probably an upgrade over Tiny Demo as well, so they are definitely showing up serious here. May as well mention or run down the Moneyballs roster while we're at it, because we have Habada as the medic, Bomo and Raven are going to be the scouts, Loaf and Slugmundo soldiers, and then still waiting on, I believe it's going to be Dingo joining on Demo.
Yep. Do note the graphic is wrong. It's the previous graphic. Logan's not subbing for Habada right now. That was the last time they played. Habada is actually here in the server this time, so he will be on medic, to reiterate.
Yes, going to be another upgrade in that respect as well, although that was compared to the Freo matchup as opposed to the Global Clan Zhao matchup. Yeah, I would say, I mean, I have throughout the season kind of been saying that, the top four is kind of settled, I would say, in that I very much expected a Freo Tech number 1, Moneyballs number 2, Zhao in the number 3 spot. But I don't know. We're seeing a stronger roster show up today than we have in the past. So, I mean, if there was a chance for an upset, and this was something I was saying in their initial matchup as well, if there was going to be an upset this season, I think it would be between these two teams.
I mean, it usually is when you consider, when you get later in the season, it's harder to, it's a little bit harder to get scrims consistently and keep yourself on your game, which makes both teams more prone to mistakes. And when that happens, there's little chaos moments that can help your team really thrive. And I think because of that concept, it actually is a bit advantageous for... Actually, no, I would say it's even. I was about to say it's advantageous on paper for Global Clan Zhao because of how much they try to go behind and stuff. But I feel like while they also have that in their kit as their mainstay strategy, like their default, I feel like when Moneyballs does it, it's actually more often than not more effective than when Global Clan Zhao does it. I think Global Clan Zhao has some issues with dealing with chaos themselves, despite being the kind of chaos team of the season, ironically enough. So I would be... it's interesting to see the first map of Gully in that regard, not because of who picked it and stuff like that, but you have two teams that, for different reasons, probably want to try to constantly send people behind and have things be really difficult to control, yet you have one of the more easy to control maps being played as map number 1, so you have to put a pin on that until process, I suppose.
Yeah, and when I think of chaos with regards to Moneyballs, I mean, I think they're a team with really strong fundamentals, but the highlight moments they've had have often been centered around Bomo just kind of picking a time to run forward with Habada and just finding 3 kills randomly. And that's definitely something that Zhao are familiar with and have to look out for specifically. But yeah, regarding the lack of scrims. I know at the very least that Moneyballs did not pre-game here. I imagine Global Clan Zhao probably didn't either.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, just hard to find scrims at this time of day. I did see Dingo and Slug playing some open pugs, so there's that.
Yeah, 3 days of pugging and pubbing and MG, and that's it. So, but that's usually how it goes for playoff weekend sometimes. So, you know, it's nothing new per se, but I think we're like under 30 seconds until we go. Never mind, that's way more than under 30 seconds until we go live. What's your quick predictions here?
I'm gonna still say 5-0 for Moneyballs, but I don't know. We'll see if it's a more comfortable 5-0 than last time, because last time it was like 12 minutes.
I think this is a map that, while it's never guaranteed, it's easy to find a way to get some rounds in here despite being the underdog team. So I'll say 5-1 in favor of Moneyballs. I think Global Clan Zhao put himself on the board, but might be a bit hard. Loaf immediately getting picked off. Really great job so far, but Fancy really weak, gets stickied as well. So 5v5 scenario, Dinko weak, Moose weak as well. Control by the blue team in an immense amount. Bot mode getting a bit too overzealous though. Took a lot of damage. Will gets taken down by a splash rocket from Zam, with only a handful left alive. Slug trying to salvage. Isn't going to be able to achieve too much here. A lot of red players on the red team, but overall nothing to write home about for the blue team in terms of kills. So while it was back and forth even for a long while at the beginning of the mid, eventually red team will take control, and they're actually blindsiding Dingo, potentially moving their way onto 2. A bit aggressive. They're holding it for now.
Yeah, I'm very much
team, they're
expecting
getting pushed out.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see a fight here with the spawners, and the fact that Aimer was kind of split up from the rest of the combo there, in some sense, applied, you know, unique amounts of pressure, having spam from one way with the combo in the other direction, but it also, I think, halted Zhao's push a little bit. But we did see them take this first mid, so already off to a much better start than last time around. And, I mean, we were seeing Aimer do quite well on that mid in the sense of surviving the fast rollout from Loaf, just securing an early kill.
Yep, now it's big door time. They've rotated their demo over. Heals are not quite there yet. They're a bit slow. I think they were maybe anticipating a choke shove, so they wanted to pretend like something was going to happen there, but it's actually a bomb in from Zam. Popped up, covered up.
Well.
He's fine for now. Losing two, though. Minaj nice his stickies from Dingo over in the big door side. I think he tried to go behind or something and probably ate a trap, so that's a 2-man. Not necessarily what you want, but somewhat holdable from the side of the red team. However, we have reached a pause.
Yes.
And we'll see how this progresses. Fingers crossed there's nothing too serious this early on.
Yeah, and I wonder if it was even server issues, because I am having random server disconnect, whatever.
Yeah, before we went live, there were a handful of players that were having like 80 or 100 ping. So I'm hoping that this is just a ping flare-up and not some sort of like, well, gotta wait for their internet to come back type of deal.
Yeah.
But you said it's TAC, Dolphin? Technical. I was about to say, it's like, it's TAC this early? No way. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Technical.
Yep. And, I mean, the situation we're looking at now, obviously, Zam went for the sack, Minaj getting caught out. Suddenly it makes things quite nice for Moneyballs. Looks like Fancy Sun actually definitely committed to holding this choke down 2. Raven is going to be the one going down drop down. It's not typical for a scout to be making drop down plays like that, but I could see that working out quite well here, as that was maybe a repause. We'll hopefully be moving shortly here. Yeah, I could see Raven getting in behind, or at least just getting into the point, drawing some eyes, making things a little tough for Zhao, who might even want to be exchanging and choke, depending on how the pressure goes.
Yeah, it seems like they're definitely trying to hold this at least in some capacity. Luckily for Moose, because it's not a soldier that he has to deal with per se, he has the ability to kind of ignore Raven if he needs to help Fancy if he gets pushed by bot mode, and like they can take some sort of exchange if need be. But you know, there's still a threat. Raven could end up going behind and then, you know, being a nuisance to the people that would be rolling out, and that's a player advantage there. If one person can tie up 2 of them, they try to like spend time chasing him in the lobby or something like that. So I think it's really down to execution here. Obviously, odds with 2 dead in this scenario, like this is a good place to be, obviously, but it's doable.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, even like if Raven gets on the other side of mid, then and you're exchanging and choke, you need that exchange to go well. So we maybe have another repause here. You need that
Okay.
exchange to go well, otherwise suddenly there's a player behind. On top of the fact that Aimer is not exactly healthy and isolated. Yeah, this could be a decisive fight.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is he might not even necessarily try to go behind. Oh no, he kind of is. He's drawing eyes from Moose. They get the kill onto Dingo, actually. Dingo pushed Big Door alone, found a sticky trap, immediately died, and that kind of cuts off Blue's plan from doing anything, really. They do have Raven behind. The exchange comes out because of the damage they did. It got Slug really low. They're trying to take some height on the side of Moose and friends, but they're kind of off in no man's land. They're arrowing up. They're waiting for respawners. Are they taking this too ambitiously without people here? They're bombing in. Aimer in with the pipe. Oh my god, onto bot mode, and Hubba takes out them both, and the aggression is actually working out in their favor. I guess Raven behind wasn't able to connect fast enough, but with Dingo as a respawner, yeah, they came through. They found the moment where they needed to post, and that was the ticket they needed right there to make sure that not only did they completely wipe them, but keeping Dingo alive, or Dinko, sorry. It's going to be confusing with Dingo and Dinko. But keeping Dinko alive is actually so huge to allow them to put around them a little bit.
Yeah, I think that obviously Dinko is really the most important one to live there, because this enables a push into last and a real shot to get on the scoreboard with the lead, which is definitely new here, as we're getting popped through River. Immediate cap time, so much cap time as well. That might be enough to just win a round. Dingo does go down as well. Hubba, 8 HP is cleaned up. Scouts going to point, gets cleaned up. It's only 2 players alive though. Not going to be enough. And that is where the pause happened. I don't know if folks were just trying to reconnect or whatnot. There was some discussion about lag leading up to that push and the fight before it, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it looks like there was no reconnects. It was just maybe waiting for some sort of lag to pass or something like that, like their ping. But on to another mid. See the damage put out in Big Door if it's enough to really thwart them, but oh, so much damage onto Zam already. He's trying to go all the way back onto Dingo, but Dingo just kills him with the stickies. So far, Red giving up so much of their team, but they did indeed take down Hubba. There's only 2 scouts remaining for the Red team to try to make sure they can clean up the rest of the squad on Moneyballs, but they're grouped up. Moose has to go crazy right now, be able to get a couple frags here. Bot mode, taking down Minaj with red HP. It's just a 1v1 remaining. Dingo and Moose, but not enough health to survive a singular sticky. So Dingo, the sole survivor, and the victory, taking the mid for his team.
Yeah, if there was ever a lineup that could win that 2v3, it would be 2 scouts. And they were both weak, but so was Bomo at that. So being able to find the Minaj kill, very important. Being able to do enough damage to Moose that he's not very much of a threat to Dingo, very good as well. Still though, I mean, not the most comfortable mid win. You did lose Hubba. In fact, I think there's probably some different spawn waves here, because Dinko finds himself about like 25-ish ad here.
Yeah, he did die relatively quickly, but I think, I don't know if it's supposed to be this big. I don't know if we'll see a red team actually pushing this. I wasn't keeping track of this as like, I mean, honestly, judging by their posturing, they don't view it as ad. So I think that's telling enough before they even get it, because they were sitting up on height while they were just building the rest of it. If anything, they're posing as if they were afraid of getting killed by like a 15% ad from the other team, but they're the one that had the 11-second advantage. But now that both teams have, blue team, I mean, we reach another pause, probably due to ping or something server-related. Maybe bad luck choosing the server for the match today, but no, it's the ball's in their court. They gotta poke rounds, figure out how red team is trying to hold this. Is it worth it doing a sack through choke, or should they go through big door, etc.? But so far the pause wasn't too crazy, so I hope the second one isn't too long either.
Yeah, we'll see. And I mean, as far as breaking, okay, there's word that servers might be switched around here. We'll see. But as far as breaking these Gullywash second stalemates go, unlike a lot of other maps where you have sort of 3 doors to pressure with the choke and the flank, and then kind of the choke accessory, whether that be a sewer or in the case of Sunshine, like a cafe, kind of only have 2 options on Gullywash. You have choke and then you have big door. Big door, yeah, you can like get people behind on occasion, but you see a lot of kind of counter aggression actually from the defending teams, in that if a team pressures Big Door and really tries to overwhelm Big Door, which is often a go-to just because it's a lot easier to take space relative to choke, then you'll see the defending team a lot of times shove choke because that player is just unsupported by heals, and that becomes a very important aspect of the hold as well, whether they can stay alive, get a kill, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, Big Door can open up a whole lot when you think about, once you actually get through. If you get in through the baby shutter into wood, it kind of expands a bit to where like you can approach from the big shutter, or like if you can get someone up into river, there's some high ground there you can aggress from. But that takes so much time to actually really get there cleanly that's plenty of time for said choke shove to happen. And we've seen some times where the lone person at choke is able to fend off the opposing team due to poor execution. But more often than not, the choke shove will completely kill the Big Door kind of push that happens and kind of resets things. So I expect to see a lot of that this map, honestly, in these stalemates.
Okay, we are live here, and I've got word that these teams are going to be playing until they reach a stable situation that's easy to replicate, and then they will be switching servers, as Loaf actually almost getting a kill there in a fancy, but will not secure that. And, of course, this is a stable situation. However, I imagine
spoilers, something
happens. Yeah, things are a little bit in the future. I do see some traps Big Door. They're getting cleared, so Big Door pressure should commence here.
Someone gets forced or two will die. There's one sack that comes through. Loaf is going to die. I think I don't even see. Oh, no, he died pretty close towards the pill bottle, so he's pretty deep in. Probably a sticky trap that was in the pallet or something I didn't see, but red team, a little bit on the move. Minaj aggressive and Big Door. Moose is there as well, though. Minaj got really weak, and someone kind of poked around and then dropped down, but decided to not commit, so overall red will take too much damage from too many locations. As they're sending some people in through the choke. Slug has taken some high ground. He's drawn so many eyes, and he will end up dying, but Hubada kind of deep.
Oh, man.
Aimer bombs in, ends up dying. Baba with the maybe 2 or 3 shot, taking down the opposing demo. Very big boon to help hold this, despite being 2 people down from the blue team. However, Moose.
Moose
making a move.
through drop down. Didn't get spotted, but ended up kind of revealing his own position. But just getting ignored. I mean, Raven keeping eyes. Oh, Zam with the drop, though. Yeah.
And that pause timing.
Yeah, I wonder if this pause is them switching or what.
This has got to be the switch. This moment is the non-stable situation they talked about, and they're like, but wait, the disad, etc. But now, probably at this point, it's stalemated to some degree. Maybe, maybe not. Well, either way, this Uber comes out from the side of the red team. They're chasing forward. We're live after the miniature pauses. Dingo's most certainly going to die here, I would imagine. He is completely caught, has no friends around him, and will end up getting scattered down by the side of Moose. And with 3 dead, they are moving on. They need to cap. They're still chasing. They want all these frags. They've left mid completely open, which means respawners will get the forwards. Fancy Sun bombing and trying to create some space for his team. They're able to kill Slug, which is pretty huge. Good job from Zam, who will get scattered down eventually, though, by the side of Ravens. Overall, a 1-for-1 and maybe a little bit of a mishap here. Especially, speaking of mishaps, Fancy doesn't get the height he needs. Will get taken down. Moose as well. They get the trade kill on the low, but overall 1-for-2 advantage in favor of the red team there, and that little bit of exchange. Overall, though, blue team with the more players is still trying to poke around at least a little bit, but they do recognize the disad they have in the red team. If they can just bide their time and hold the choke, wait for respawners, they can use this ad to go ahead and push into 2.
It was still well played for Moneyballs. I mean, just finding those kills on the players who were getting way too aggressive, trying to bite off more into second than they maybe could get away with.
Ooh, so server's dying.
Yes, so
this is the switch.
Okay, so this tells me that things may have evened out on last, potentially. I mean, we'll see in a moment.
They probably took forever to take 2 and didn't use the Uber, so it stalemates on last, probably, yeah.
Evens on last, we're being told. Okay, makes sense. How about already at 60% here? Slug probably not getting any value. Well, we know Slug doesn't get the force at the very least, but not going to get too much here. And yeah, whatever happens leading up to that stalemate into last is just going to be lost to the void. I'll let you all fill in your imaginations.
I'm sure most people have been in that situation where it's like, We can't really hold to or force them, but we can like buy tons and tons of time to slow them down, and then we'll steal them done last.
Yeah. Well, so far, I mean, very impressed with how Zhao's doing. My 5-0 prediction already completely shattered, and they are looking quite strong right now. Yeah, I think the roster changes they've made for tonight have definitely been strong.
Yeah, it's definitely done a good job for them so far. We'll have to see how Moneyballs bounces back. I think the big thing about roster changes last minute, especially when the roster changes that aren't too bad, like you get substitutes that are able to fill the role properly, is you play against a team an entire season, and not just team tendencies, but player tendencies can be pretty prominent when it comes to trying to prepare for certain strategies you might encounter and how that might affect your own play, even if you're doing, you're following your own team's plans and et cetera, et cetera. But when you make a last minute switch up like that, it's kind of like, I mean, if it's big enough, it can kind of shift an entire team's play style in terms of like, oh, this is no longer or is now a target player that needs to be focused, or like player tendencies in terms of, oh, this person always goes behind, or this soldier always does a fade first and never actually commits with their bombs. This soldier never goes fast, so you don't have to worry about getting jumped early on, and you can afford to be more aggressive. Little things like that that allow you to take an edge early on. And I think Zhao has definitely taken advantage of that pretty well. But Moneyballs has plenty of experienced players on their team, and I'm sure eventually we'll see at some point we'll see a shift where they put themselves back into a favorable position. But the question is will it be quick enough?
Yeah, and I mean, that being said as well, maybe the new server ping being more stable is going to benefit Moneyballs, because it's been so far the lag related pauses have punished them more so after losing a round, after your med dropping and choke. Maybe it's just coat pauses, being like, wow, this lag sucks, and the other team's lagging just as hard, but we'll have to see.
I mean, if you're lagging and you're aggressing as a splash class, you can just fire and pray, right? But if you're trying to be on the defensive and trying to dodge properly, you can just eat way too much damage from the lag, because you can't like see everything come in at the right moment, and just kind of eat it and die. So if you're on the back foot, it makes it even easier to go further and further back and prevent your team from like kind of putting your best foot forward in that regard. So definitely helps spiral things if Zhao is in a good scenario, and then the lag kind of happens and there's still reason for them to push forward. Moneyballs probably has a more difficult time of dealing with it. But it's hard to say from our screen how much and in which particular moments that actually affected anything, because I'm pretty sure it wasn't a disconnect, obviously, and I didn't see player stuttering, but it's definitely scoreboard ping that the players are feeling, and it just makes things a lot more difficult.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to tell, because I've been looking at the scoreboard, at least in the STV, and haven't seen like 3-digit ping players or anything like that. But obviously, I mean, if it's enough for a server change, then there's enough players in the server in agreement that something's up with the server, and the quality of gameplay can improve on a different one.
It's probably miniature spikes, because in the pregame I did see like 4 100 ping players. When I'm zooming around, I don't just hold tab, because I don't need to hold tab, because everything I need is on my HUD. So like, I don't see these little moments of where pings might be spiking for maybe like 3 seconds, 5 seconds.
Yeah, I do think that because I am someone who started playing TF2 way earlier than I actually started playing started playing sixes way before my first season, because of internet troubles, and having inconsistent internet connection is like, so I would rather have a stable 120 ping compared to solid 50 ping, and then every like 60-65 seconds it just stutters and spikes, and it's just very, very disruptive.
Yeah, I think most people would definitely agree. At least if with some sort of consistency, you can like make a mental or a muscle memory adjustment on what you need to do properly, whether it's playing hit scan and dodging projectiles, or shooting projectiles yourself. But if it just goes back and forth, you're thrown for a loop and really have no idea how to time things. You're literally just crossing your fingers. It's gambling, basically.
Yeah, and
But
that
not
is
fun in
no
any
fun.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, sixes also just sticks out to me as something that's like so non-random. Obviously, there's randomness in the sense that like there's chaos, but like I mean, we even have plugins that get rid of the randomness of like fall damage, for example. And yeah, we've definitely pruned a lot of the RNG elements out. So I think consistency is something a lot of players value.
Yeah, the only randomness really is like doing your special rollout against like someone doing a certain strategy on mid, and then they don't even do it as their strategy is like, all right, cool, I did this for nothing then. Because, you know, you try to take into account the other players, and, you know, that's its own variable you have to deal with. And sometimes the rock, paper, scissors doesn't really work out on paper. But other than that, yeah, you're pretty fine.
That's where the fun gambling actually comes into play, when you're just predicting exactly what the enemy's going to do, and then they actually do, and it just works out. It's like no better feeling.
It's like the last piece of the puzzle just getting into place. I think most of the people have rejoined the server at this point. I think we are missing Hubada.
Yeah.
Who just joined the server as soon as I finished that sentence.
I was going to say, I wouldn't be too surprised to see like a full restart from Hubada or something, considering that he seemed to be having some of the issues connection-wise. Yeah, Raven is in, Hubada joining. So we might be going live shortly here. And as a reminder to anyone just joining, we are on a new server now. So these teams are going to recreate the last kind of stable game state they were in, which was even Ubers on Moneyballs' last.
Yep, and we didn't get to see it per se because it was a little skip in time, but I think they've already recognized how they need to recreate it with like the time and everything too. 24 minutes left on the clock, so should be good to go here. I'm kind of curious to see if anyone on Zhao is going to spawn off classes off the bat.
Yeah,
because I could see that be a thing that could happen.
I agree. And I have seen in the past, but almost specifically actually kind of having a contingency for that or clarifying whether that's allowed or not, which I do kind of appreciate as we are actually going live here. I remember back, I think it was maybe a main match or something I was watching. It was like no off classes as well for the time being from the red team. I remember watching or casting maybe a main match or something. Off class checking as well, just to make sure.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
This is.
Oh, I see. They were.
Oh yeah, they gotta give up the
replicating the log in its entirety.
Okay.
So they're giving up the one round, so that there can be a brown on the scoreboard for Zhao, and then I guess they haven't redone the in-game like the timer yet. It's still at half an hour.
Okay.
So I guess after this they'll adjust it to 24 minutes or something.
It's gonna be a very silly looking round on the log.
Yeah, it is gonna make the logs a little bit odd. But there's the one round. That's replicated. And then we find ourselves on Moneyballs last, and with the updated timer.
Works out. But yeah, this match I was watching, it was a similar situation on Metalworks. Teams agreed to sort of reset on evens, and while the team on their own second was building Uber to play the evens to reproduce the situation, the attacking team decided to use that time to get a spy into position, and we're like playing it off, even asking like, okay, like, are you guys ready? Like, we're just waiting on you, wink wink. And basically immediately after they go, that just drops and they lose the round. It's kind of brutal from the sportsmanship perspective.
Slug even checked right now for this round. The previous round where Loaf was checking didn't matter because it was free, right? But now Slug is like, let me do one last look-see here. But okay, this is the stalemate. The timer is correct, I believe. And they paused for a moment to make sure they like got their Uber and whatever, and they figured it out. Okay. Reading chat's over. Now they're actually getting through. They're clearing all the stickies. They need to start talking about how they actually want to break into this last here. The first stalemate I think we've seen on last so far. Nice air shot onto Zam, immediately takes him out. There is one scout in water still. They're, for the most part, ignoring Dingo, kind of has it trapped off. They know he's there. He's kind of pokes his head out, Minaj, but is trying to get out the river if he can. Loaf goes for a counter. He's not so lucky, and Minaj is not so lucky getting out of water as well. So overall, that's just a 1-for-1 trade. So we might actually see maybe the red team making some more moves here, although we do have a Zam sniper rolling out, so if things kind of chill out until he gets there, I wouldn't be too surprised.
Yeah, and that kind of recontextualizes the sack that Zam went for immediately. Kind of a sniper sack. Something you more so see the scouts do, but...
Ooh, Minaj on Spy too.
Okay.
Sniper Spy.
And Raven is usually the one who off-class checks on this team. Bomo has been on Pyro, though, so this time around I don't think they're going to necessarily know.
Yeah, I mean,
obviously,
Slug and Loaf just did it, but they're not going to forego spamming when they know a sack could be, like a sniper could just swing in. They need to be on these doors, so they're not going to...
can't give up a soldier here.
And you wouldn't expect it anyway, because they have a sniper. Like, yes, the sniper spy strat has been done before, but it's not a staple, so Minaj...
might be positioned for cap time, yeah.
Okay.
Does go for cap time.
Easy way to get through. Bait for the sniper. They got a kill. It is a trade, though. 1-for-1. Weak players on the side of Moneyballs. Both Loaf and Dingo, below 100 HP, are flying for now. So Moose runs in through main, catches one, commits, but does not succeed at getting more. So overall, 2-for-2, a lot of chaos. That gets a little bit of cap time, but overall, nothing more to write home about.
I do like that play, though, because the sniper peek main can be... Like, it's hard to actually get a shot on the med or NG or anyone actually holding, but it's really good at getting shots on point and players on point, so being able to draw a pick into the cap, and, yeah, have the spike at cap time, maybe get a kill on the soldier, hope that's the only soldier going for the point, and maybe just sneak around by doing that, as Zam looks like
goes for hero shot.
Hero shot.
One thing to note is because he's on soldier, when you put your soldier on sniper, it makes the pressure cook like so much harder, just because you have less explosives to deal with to actually get this gun down, or spam ring soldiers or things of that regard. But Zam has come out on spy. Didn't work the first time, but maybe with the sniper not in play and swapping the player will make some sort of difference here. As Raven inside spawn for now, playing very defensive, recognizing this Uber exchange was going to come out due to low time, stays out of it, ready to rebuild another gun actually. Is this Spy still in secret, trying to maybe decloak onto the point, force some cap time or something of that regard once again, because no one's over there to actually stab. Fainted Sun will die to a trap, immediately one player down with 30 seconds left. And this important thing to note here is this exchange did not actually force the blue team to use. They not only successfully thwarted any chance of an exchange actually happening, but
threat here. Oh,
yeah, but Raven.
And Raven's got crits as well. Yeah, gun watching point plus crits.
This is the first two, didn't need the first two. Third one hits the mark. But full ad for blue because of their execution holding that last perfectly.
Yeah, denying two as well, so... Oh, and Bomo doing his favorite little thing here on Gully Wash of just pushing forward on Pyro.
He got a 4K last time.
Yeah, and this time around doesn't seem to be as good. In fact, Dingo actually getting headshot, Slug going down. Things are now a little sketchy. At the very least, Raven has switched off of Engineer and is on the front lines. Uber gets pops, though. Are we gonna see... I mean, yeah...
It's just these two.
I mean, honestly, that was a strong case for having the detonator, because I think Bomo being able to jump in there as, Zam gonna catch Hubada from behind. This is now looking pretty bad for Moneyballs.
Yeah, the sniper really threw a wrench in their plans, because getting Dingo right off the bat, as he dies again at the shutter, makes things really difficult to maintain control of the big door area. At least they get this force here as Loaf bombs in, and now Moneyballs have actually sent a bunch of people behind to try to create some chaos. Bot mode will die in the backline finally. He's probably honestly happy that he's finally out Pyro at this point, after what just transpired, but they get the kill on the Slug as well, so even though this Uber gets expended and buys a little bit of time, the 3 kills means that, I mean, that's all you're really going to get from the side of Moneyballs is creating some sort of even-ish scenario, because they're poking at least a little bit in the lobby, seeing what's possible, but you had to leave one to cap. Your down man's still rolling out. You do not have the squad to actually begin to push this, so as Fancy Sun peeks, he immediately dies, and almost the same could be said for Minaj, but might be Raven instead? No. Zam takes the plunge. Another trade in River, and half of Global Clan Zhao are dead all of a sudden.
Yeah, and I'm starting to think maybe Bomo was not happy to be off of Pyro because he came up on it again.
And Dingo's dead.
Yeah, finds Dingo. Now you have to be very, very careful here. It's 2 players who were alive and a spawner, although all 3 got spotted in big doors. You can have a lot of confidence now with this push as Moneyballs, knowing that you're not going to get back capped. And if Bomo were inclined to switch off, it'd be now, but he's not. He does believe in this pushing out of last as far as you can go on Pyro, on Gully
That's
Wash.
the confidence there.
Exact same scenario this time around as well, with the sniper in big door. Zam bombing in, getting dealt with. Sniper got lit on fire as well, so much cleaner dry push this time around. And still 70 ad into second.
Yep. I like how the confidence here from bot mode is like, yeah, I mean, people don't do it all the time, but if there's any time to do it, it would be Gully, and it works for now, so let's just keep doing it. But headshot onto Loaf, pistol cleanup from Moose, another headshot rings out. Minaj is taken out though, so the threat is gone. Maybe bought a little bit of time for Dinko to maybe find a way to get Uber on last, but you know, they can't necessarily just leave one and go. I mean, they can try, but they're not going to have scout speed to really launch themselves forward. And with that slim of an ad, it's probably something you wish you had. So not really going to be anything to use, but they could go for the exchange in water, which they are. They've crossed through. Yep. They're trying to find a way to get in on the point, and the super chain's going to come out shortly.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. I mean, this is a situation that teams will sometimes spawn a pyro and roll out a pyro. Just
it's a family Uber. It's a family Uber. They're all together.
30 kills.
They all were in that. All of Global Clan Zhao were just so, like, you bird's eye view, zooming out, there's like 4 players on the high ground staring at the point that are like close enough in the pyro's range to need flashes. Also on top of each other for the soldier bomb that came in at the last second. That is a clear sign of like, haven't played against this in a while, and just 1 or 2 small mistakes turns into a meat grinder.
Yeah, and I think that probably not worth just shooting everything you can and full turning for the Uber Pyro on point. You know, have fewer resources to deal with that until the post. Nonetheless, though, Loaf going down here, and Habada getting caught out by Fancy Stuff. Great mid from Zhao. Bomb in from Slug, trying to find Dinko, well not. And it's really just up to, okay, Bomo tries to find a kill, does not. Raven's too weak. Dingo jumping out as well, so very confident mid, and Global Clan Zhao may be poised to take back the lead.
Yeah, immediately picked off Loaf, but the bomb into Habada immediately hitting the mark and just 2-rocketing him while Dinko is relatively safe will kind of be the end of that. It doesn't seem like, I mean, getting one and not the other could be okay in a sense, like if you get only Loaf, it's not the end of the world, maybe Habada can get out. If you get only Habada, maybe Loaf can be available to counter arrest and kind of even things out and get Dinko, but if you get both, that's a done deal, realistically. Yeah. And they tried their best, but it was too little too late. Here comes their main, trying to avoid where a pyro might be, maybe on the shutter, but this gun is going to live for a little bit, but immediately 2 dead. Slug and Dingo both fall. I mean, Zam gave us his life for it, but there's so much cap time, there's so much room in favor of the red team, and that is a very, I mean, it's not a 60-second round, but that is what a 60-second round looks like in terms of the mid ended before it began, and the last push kind of did not have a serious post that made you wonder who was going to come out on top at the end.
Yeah, big thing there was Dingo just getting caught out to the Uber. He was already weak behind point, so I think maybe he took a fight or got pressured while in water, and Moose with the flash was able to just run past traps on point and kill Dingo. Spinaj actually pressuring Dingo early into this mid, able to get healed up. Fancy Sun going for a drop-down play, ready to bomb up again.
Here's the double
for that
bomb.
2-rocket as well. Yeah, double bomb comes out. Only trades though. Slug does live, and I'm seeing a very scattered Moneyballs, kind of all over, but largely on the low ground.
They don't clean this Zam kill either. They find themselves all on the low ground, evading him, unable to clean up the kill, and that double bomb from the side of Moneyballs, I mean, they bombed in, they got a little bit of damage, but they didn't get any kills, and I think one of them immediately died in return. I think it was pretty much red what was happening from the side of Global Clan Zhao, and the fact that the combo wasn't able to fully go in to help, and they just kind of had to kite away, meant that there wasn't really a whole lot of focus fire that allowed them to reign victorious on that mid. So Global Clan Zhao find themselves in a pretty good position, especially after cleaning up a nuisance that was behind a bit. So they are person down for this, but same can be said for the side of Moneyballs as Loaf plays his hand, gets a little bit aggressive, trying to find the timing, but is not so lucky. And I mean, they get a little bit of damage in lobby, but nothing really much more to prevent this last push from Shutter coming.
We're here yet again. Uber does get popped through Shutter this time around. Gun goes down. We do have heavy spawn. Zam goes down, so that's a very valuable kill for Moneyballs to get. Low pretty weak, needs to go back to respawn. but it's looking good so far. Minaj gonna get some cap time here. Actually a lot of cap time, but being the only combat left, it's just Dinko running away, who should be able to meet up with some spawners. Yeah, in no semblance of danger here, so it's only going to be 70 ad for Moneyballs. Get a free second here, probably going to deny Minaj, if that, and play into mid against a Pyro.
Oh, he's taking a page out of Bob Mode's book. Oh, never mind. He swapped off. Okay.
Okay.
Just go ahead and go into the back spawn to meet up with Dinko. But this Uber comes through. They do a big door bomb. Not finding anyone at the choke. They do find the Doman underneath the point, and Zam tried to go behind as well. So overall, getting 2 kills in unexpected locations. I mean, I'm sure Moneyballs will take it as they leave one and continue on towards the choke. Fancy Sun is there, tries to find the timing, drops down on the Hubba, but 26 HP is enough to survive on with the sniper. Minaj taking Bomb Mode out of the equation. They have the shutter locked down though, so he might have to rotate upper if he wants to continue his rampage. But Slug, they're locking it down. There's some heals to push him out and maybe give the sniper room for a little bit of a snapshot. They do have Ad here long term, but the sniper is taken out. The spam is amazing as Dingo takes out Zam as well. A little bit of a trade happens, but overall, Moneyballs has done enough really to slow Global Clan Zhao down and prevent them from fully pushing out of the last.
Yeah, and a lot of chaos here. Lope was going for a play there. I mean, with those kills, makes sense if you can get in clean. That kind of off-timing sack. Bruce will be finding the kill on the Slug in lobby, and Zhao want to be playing this ad out of last. It is still 10 ad for the time being. Looks like Hubba poised for an exchange for sure. And, I mean, spawners are on the way. Loaf is here, Slug still 5 seconds left before spawning. Look at that, actually Zhao dropping to the low ground now. Yeah, we're going to see an exchange in all likelihood here, but Dingo getting pressured. Finds the force.
Yeah, here's the problem though, is they don't have really control of the flank right now. Fancy dive bombs in, Minaj dies in the back line. There comes a point in time. There comes a point in time where you have to call it off, because if they already have their Uber there and you have to do an exchange and it can't just be a straight up force, you either full commit with your team to try to wipe them, but then you give up the flank and they back cap, or you maintain your flank and you stay protective to make sure no one back caps, but you don't have your full force ready and there to converge on them and try to wipe them in the post Uber. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. And you know, the tempt ambitiously does not lead to their favor, and it's a tied game now, 2-2.
Yeah, I think if they were able to just double scout down Dingo like immediately, there's more of a case to be made for that going all right. But obviously, it wasn't the case. It's Sam getting really spammed out here. Might just be dying under point. He's trying to get an arrow in the corner, but no, does go down. But Hubba dies as well. And just like that, it's 3 for 3. But Dinko is alive, and never mind, Dinko is the only one alive. Dingo just walking at the other team's big door, cleaning up everyone. And this won't be a mid to last mid, but still, I mean, the mids have been a little shaky, I'd say, for Moneyball. So I think you're happy to be able to, for example, lose your med and then just recollapse and win still.
Yeah, they definitely put more focus on Zam this mid. Last time they did so much damage to him and weren't able to clean him up, and that was something that kind of turned the tides on preventing them from having a super successful mid besides the double soldier bomb of their own. But they definitely focused him down and made it difficult for him to find like a target to land on. So by the time he was actually sitting and waiting for an arrow, they're actually able to go ahead and clean him up. Made it way more simple to aggress without having to check your back on like where the soldier is coming from.
This build at as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Moneyball's played this. They're kind of positioned like they want to.
Yeah, I think they recognize.
And Dinko is caught, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Dinko did die super duper late at mid. They were trying to go for him because of how exposed he was, but just going for the cap time. They recognize, hey, if you can't get the kills because it's Gully Wash, just go for the cap, bring him over. And only a handful of people left alive on Moneyballs, but it is enough to secure a round here, 3-2 in their favor.
Yeah, and I love when teams are confident enough to play something like that. And to be honest, I mean, Dinko is the last med I would expect to be caught out to something like that, because he's just so often paranoid about things like that and just being sure to hard build. But obviously wasn't the case in the... I mean, we saw earlier when they had like, you know, 15, 20 ad, they were playing it as though they were worried about getting build checked. As Aimer bombing in here on this mid.
They did a sellout for the mid, except what Moneyballs was playing right side, which means that the med isn't really that aggressive to find that easy of a kill. So they blind bomb in, the timing was also not that great either. It was the demo went in before the soldiers are ready to high bomb, which demos usually need to probably delay a little bit for something like that. But I think that goes back to the RNG thing we talked about. Is like the only RNG you have to worry about is like the player variables. Where they do the one mid where the triple bomb, it will never work, of course. So unfortunate for the side of Global Clan Zhao, but good job from Moneyballs recognizing what was happening and making the adjustments they need with their level of aggression to keep everyone alive for the most part. So full ad for them once again. They find themselves in River, and may this be another round on the board potentially? I guess we'll have to wait and see as they're making the moves now.
Pyro is poised to stop the door a little bit, but Gun getting pressured quite well. Does go down. Minaj might be caught out as well. So much cap time, though. Only gets stops now. Bomo does die for it, but it's a lot of very weak players on the point, and just a sliver of cap time is going to be enough. It will be Loaf jumping onto the point, knocking away some stickies, and before anyone can react, getting that 4th round.
It's a really nice push strategy of double soldier bombing, or at least one soldier coming in from the riverside to kind of prevent the Pyro from being greedy and just like taking a little bit of damage and backing up safely. Jumping behind him or on top of him to prevent him from actually going all the way in as Dingo just kills an Aimer with one sticky. He was 53 HP. I think he took some fall damage on his rollout because you shouldn't be 53 HP before you take the packet choke. And that is going to end the mid before it begins.
Yeah.
Raw demo diff.
Just perfectly placed as well. I mean, Aimer was like maybe, you know, a quarter of a second away from getting the pack as well. And I'm surprised as well that...
He's dead again! He rolled out alone on Big Door and went lobby, so Raven just kills him.
I'm surprised that the Big Door demo showed up faster than the choke demo in that instance as well. As Slug getting shoved and choke, we were mentioning those shoves earlier. Over this time, blue team is fully committed through Big Door, getting some cap time. Exchange is going to be going a lot better for them as well. Dingo is just poised here. Looks like maybe Fancy going down in the post.
Finds Habita. That's something. Maybe Dingo as well. They're colliding midair, putting out some damage, but they're still all locked in the shutter. They can't get out. Raven tries to surge for it, maybe finding a kill, but Aimer collected 2. But hey guys, what about last? Loaf, he's there. He collects the round. It was all just a distraction. 5-2 in Moneyball's favor.
And I think that if Moneyballs were playing like that in the first 5 minutes, then this would have been like that 5-0 that I was maybe expecting, because I was just seeing their confidence really come back. But trash talking in chat, good rounds off the lag, which maybe that was the case. I mean, we saw that once these servers changed, Moneyballs, it was still a close game until Moneyballs started getting that momentum, but they really were just playing confidently. I mean, even that last situation, lose the med, who cares? Let's just send everyone at them lobby. Loaf's going to last. We can introduce enough chaos that just slip around out from under their noses.
Yeah, another thing to remember is what I talked about in the very beginning of, like, you know, there's player tendencies that you get used to when you play these teams. When they all of a sudden switch up, it's, you know, a little bit different. Aimer definitely played way more aggressive than Tiny does at demo, so that's a playstyle you need to get used to. The demo's going to be full sending it a whole lot more, whether it's bombing it or just running forward. And the mid fights in particular, Zam and Aimer don't play Roamer the same way. Aimer plays very protective over his demo man. It makes it hard to get on your demo man a lot. He like rolls out his own side like super fast to like screw with the flank scouts. Well, Zam just went for high bombs for variety threat, where you're never really 100% sure what he's gonna land on per se up until the last moment, which is you got to make small little adjustments to if you're wanting to try to hard counter someone. So you getting used to, all right, what are they bringing to the mid, what the play style is going to be. Definitely didn't help anything, but obviously as the match goes on, you play multiple mids and even transitions as well for player tendencies. You get an idea of what is happening. Actually, because of this, maybe, I'm not quite sure, we saw Moneyballs doing more like behind plays and things like that, and Chaos when applicable, more so than Global Clan Zhao. I think anytime Global Clan Zhao went behind, it was mostly just like a solo play, which is not as characteristic of their general play style. So while they had that little small advantage in the beginning of like, oh, you don't know how we're going to play, it's also not necessarily their comfort zone for what they've been doing for the past 2 months.
Yeah, that's kind of the unspoken part, is that while yes, there is some advantage to the opponents not really being able to counter strat you as effectively, at the same time, like, you are not as comfortable, and not everyone's going to be on the same page as a team who have been playing together and scrimming together for the entire season would be. But Slate is going to be a little bit wiped here for Process. Again, this was the map that Global Clan Zhao performed comparatively stronger in the previous matchup against Moneyballs compared to Gully Wash, and with a pretty good Gully performance. I'm going to see, how much closer this could be. Yeah, but at the same time, Moneyballs just had a lot of momentum leaving Gully Wash. If they can continue that, then this might be less close.
Except, we say momentum, but realistically, I wouldn't be too surprised to just see Global Clan Zhao go back to their roots for this map, which, I mean, obviously the behind stuff with changing the roster, who knows how that will kind of work out, if that'll be something that gets implemented more now that it's a more wide open map, or if it's not going to happen. But I mean, Minaj will still go sniper for sure.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a whole lot of that, and that actually kill a lot of momentum, which is why the Process match was a bit on the slow side. There wasn't huge, insane rolls, plenty of stalemates to try to work through. And Moneyballs did succeed in thwarting a lot of the threat, which led them to the victory, but, it's sniper. Anything can happen.
Yeah, and when I think of flank plays and going behind on Zhao, I think of Aimer on Roamer, because he was finding just incredible timings in previous matchups, particularly on Process as well, and having Aimer in the combo instead can't really do that, as you were talking about Minaj Sniper. And here we're seeing Minaj Sniper being run to mid. Sniper to mid, something that we see rarely, thankfully, but it might work out here.
Last minute prediction?
Last minute prediction, I'll go with 5-1, a repeat.
I will say the same. Mealy Loaf going behind. Aimer bombing in, gets a pipe off, but nothing really there. A little bit disjointed considering they have the sniper to play off of, so you gotta be careful with the level of aggression you show. But maybe that's just to make room for the sniper so they have to deal with something else. And so far, it actually is working out a little bit despite being unorthodox. Dingo, a little weak, is fine for now. Actually, I'm unsure of how much damage Minaj did. He didn't necessarily collect a kill, but maybe there was a body shot here or there that didn't give us a little headshot ping that's easy to hear, that helped kind of seal the deal. Maybe I just didn't see it. But either way, they're able to take this mid with the sniper to mid strategy. And hey, they already got their off class ready to go. The unfortunate thing is it's not a hidden secret anymore that gets you a really nice surprise first shot. In fact, bot mode is already poised and ready for the shutter to open in the sewer. Yeah,
that is the downside, I suppose, of the sniper to mid. I mean, the upside, of course, you get to immediately transition into sniper on second, and I mean, what a second to be able to snipe into as well. As we can see, I mean, just very, very awkward positioning being forced here from Moneyballs, because that shutter is so difficult to properly deny a peek from. Because again, you have Fancy Sun here, 300 HP soldier, able to just open the shutter for a much safer, much further back sniper. Is Loaf actually peeking for maybe some shove action, thinking about it.
Yeah, eventually you got to do something. Even if you have your own counter sniper, you kind of feel like you want to prevent the red team from just taking a shot over and over and over again, because even if they die for a successful shot, it can be a little bit of a nuisance, because then maybe IT gets open and someone goes behind, etc., etc. You don't have to force it too hard because you have a sniper of your own, but you receive the bomb in. Zam going on the Hubba. He doesn't really get a whole lot of damage, doesn't quite hit the mark, so overall just one frag there, and that did create a little bit of room for maybe a swing or something of that nature, but no headshots will connect, so blue team on the move, able to get a shot onto Fancy Sun, make him get off the crate into a safer area, but no one really wants to go in, considering if you counter sack right now on Soldier while you have a sniper, your ability to defend people from going behind in IT goes down very, very hard, unless you want your sniper to just commit to IT, which he's doing right now, and gets the kill on a Minaj. I didn't mean in that way. I meant defensively if they sack the Soldier, but hey, he'll take it. They brought their team here now. They're staying at this door. They get the fly shot onto the scout, but nothing really more to be said. But they're pushing through the choke, going behind them. Raven's calling out for the team. The Uber exchange comes out, but the red team is popped so early that they find no one. Very ambitious on paper, not necessarily a bad like idea of a play, but the execution left to be desired, and Dinko gets killed on his exit. It's a free Uber. They pop themselves in. They want to get some of these kills. They find 2 in the sewer, first Moose and then Fancy Sun. They leave Loaf a little bit alone. Aimer sacrificing his life to be able to get the kill on the Loaf. A little bit of unfavorable trade, but it's just Minaj left alive after he gets the kill on the bot mode. The Ornament doesn't quite hit the mark. A sticky will on Minaj. He's trying to surf it out, but the commit from Slug will be able to collect that frag as Dinko, the respawner, waiting for someone to heal to make sure this ad doesn't go too crazy, but it's already at 40%-ish.
Yeah, playable to last, especially since you're spawn camping here on 2. And Minaj, they're finding probably the least helpful pick on mid of killing Bomo. Someone who, well, would have liked to switch off Sniper, I imagine, but is still on it now, rolling out, in fact. But the big one being revealing that you're on Sniper, because, you know, if you maybe have that one unrevealed shot, then you can salvage the situation a little bit on Hubadar, for example, but no.
Yeah, they know they have ad air. I think he just wants to do something as an off timing. They have it now. They're going through 4. Gotta get the gun down first. It is gonna be taken out. The question is, will it be crossing or corner capping? They're moving some stickies out of the way. Raven brings over both of the soldiers, actually, so they've given up some of the positioning in HP. Going once again, Raven dropped down really low. Minaj gets the kill on the bot mode, though, so that he will win the SBS with the body shot as they've gone full force for this cap time. Dinka will get the Uber time, pops it off, trying to block point, just a hair. Only 2 left alive on Moneyballs, and Loaf is in nest. Do they know? They do know. He's trying to jump onto it, gets the rocket. Oh my god. It's just a scout. He knocks off the taunt, comes through, and Loaf with another clutch round for his team. He ended the game on Gully Wash, and he's just now starting it on Process.
It's crazy. And it's situations like that that you're just beating yourself up over if you're on a global clan Zhao, because it's so easy. Like, yeah, they're 1 up. We can go out on 2. We can deny a bunch of people, take our advantage further, but when there's that much cap time, you really, really, really need to make sure, number 1, you're not getting capped in a manner like that.
Another sniper to mid strategy, but it's going to be your soldier instead of your scout. That's a nice surf to make sure that he tries to get away, but will die to the fall damage. They will give up their soldiers for it, but considering it's all dead except Moose, he'll be the final one to fall. Definitely a much better execution of dealing with a sniper in your choke, even though arguably having 2 scouts can be pretty favorable sometimes. Be able to make sure that it works out for them. And Dingo spawn camping last. He might just get a kill here. I don't know if Minaj might have been. No, okay, he did.
He's committed on Spy. I dare say the Spy is like maybe a little slow though. Well, okay.
He would need to get a lobby stab. Oh, he still gets a kill.
Wow.
No gun, actually.
Did Raven just see Minaj take that back? I don't think it's going to even matter here because this Uber's going to get popped. And in fact, it's Sam sending it for the force.
That's about when you would use your Uber anyway. That doesn't really do anything at all. So now there's down 2. This Spy has to go crazy. Butter knife on a Raven? No. Doesn't quite hit the mark. They have some soldiers trying to block the point. Dinko, red HP, gets taken down by a rocket from Loaf, and that is all she wrote for this round. Not the execution you want. I think Moose, I mean, he wasn't even on Engineer yet. I think he just didn't think the traps were there anymore. And surprise, surprise, he's still where, plus the Zam initiation left a whole lot to be desired. So that was kind of handed to Moneyballs in a way.
Yeah, and especially like if you're going for a risky spy play like that, then why sack your soldier just to get a force and make sure your spy can never get the med? It's already like difficult to do anyway.
Oh, they're pulling out the strats. They're taking turns playing sniper. They're rolling out through IT. Zam is on anti-soldier duty with the air shots. They're even able to immediately take down Slug. 1-for-1 trade. Moose gonna fall. Minaj needs to find an angle. They're using the crates very successfully, preventing Minaj from finding a shot. It made them kind of get out of this position they wanted to be in towards IT, and they're able to get out through the choke. But despite the maneuvers, I mean, they're going to be hard-pressed to really survive this. They even split up completely. Dinko running away alone, trying to find a way to get to one of his soldiers. Fancy Sun is at the door to kind of block things, but Minaj will fall as well, which means a lot of pressure to be gained here. Loaf goes in for a Hail Mary, finds not a lot of success, but they were successful at capping mid, and they're getting some pretty good positioning here on 2 as well.
Yeah, and we're seeing actually a fight out from lobby. Probably ill-advised, although I don't even know. I don't know what's going on in... Oh, Uber gets forced as well on the Moose. Might be finding Slug. No Slug even getting saved. Down goes Moose. And if Minaj is caught here as well, then that's definitely pressuring to last. But
this is dry fight territory.
Yeah, Zam will be spawning though, so they're only gonna have the one kill shortly, but still enough to get through doors. Once Raven finishes camping, we can participate as well.
They got the kill into Fancy. It's a good opening, especially because respawners are coming through. Loaf bombing in, finding a demo alone. Aimer able to get the kill, but will sacrifice his life for it. No stickies on point for the remainder of this fight, but Dingo is going to die. Hubba kind of bailing out. A lot of cap time. Gets the kill on the Moose.
Oh, wow.
Slug getting the kill on Minaj.
Oh,
the pistol
man.
on the Dingo. It's just Sam versus the world. Gets bombed from behind him. The quick flick is able to get the kill, but the arrow will make sure that he's returned in kind, and Fancy Sun does not respawn in time to block the point. That's a 3-0 in Moneyball's favor.
Yeah, and I wonder what's going through their mind at this point, as they are, yeah, now running quickies and crits. Okay.
Change up the strategy. Maybe
Yeah,
you-
still sniper to mid, still the direct hit, but they are really just throwing whatever at the wall now and trying to see what sticks. Oh, that's
Airstrike?
an airstrike
Instantly
bomb.
kill the medic. The bomb comes in, all the damage is not on the
Yep.
medic. The sniper's still in play though. One shot could even things out. They just need to find it. No one's taking the high ground. They're avoiding the sightlines from Minaj, and I think at this point they...
Wow.
Okay, that is a pick to be gained, but there's so little room. Aimer kind of left out to dry as the rest of the team backed up, and I mean, there's a sniper threat, but there's still room for the side of Moneyballs to go through, get both soldiers buffed up, bobbing through, trying to find a way to get this force.
Well, the crits can come into play here as well. As Minaj was
true.
just staying in, gonna be going down. It looks like it's gonna be a scout crits in all likelihood. There is a soldier here on the black box, in fact. Dingo's actually behind, dying. Low finds a trade with Moose. Okay, soon to be trade with Moose. Crits gets popped. Finds Low, finds Slug. Down goes Bomo as well. Hubba is out of there with 90% ad, knowing that the other team has crits. As Aimer and Zam both just sending it. Raven finding one. Might be finding both here. That
Yeah,
black box
playing it
healing,
safe though. Got to get the Uber up. They have room to block this. There's only 3 people at mid, and they know that. One's dead, 2 rolling out. There's some room to poke around. Get some presence here. Deny them from getting this cap. The sniper's up again. Body shot onto Hubba. He's fine for now, though. Has Uber if he needs to. The soldiers counter jumping on the Slug, taking him out of the equation, potentially trying to dodge. Jumps away. It is Zam that is going to fall. So overall, this attempt to try to push to mid was a little bit overzealous and allows Moneyballs to not only take this for free, but I mean, there's a sniper. It's hard to say to just straight up walk this in, and you can see why. Immediately Dingo gets taken out, but the Market Gardener is going to be enough to go ahead and force Hubba and get this Uber out of the equation.
Yeah, Dinko, though, is still on crits. And being stuck on your own last on crits is awful.
Very much so.
Yeah, at some point, it's almost worth just switching off and playing Uber instead and just foregoing the crits ad. Because, I mean, just look at how passive Hubba is here, building out this Uber. And if that hits 100%, they are going to be pushing it to last with it. Because they are still assuming that, and we're going to see the crits push happen. It is Quickie Bomb, so if there was a weapon that could reach choke,
oh, they did
that,
it.
but
It went for an off time. If they get the kill on the Loaf, that's something, but it's definitely, you definitely want it more.
look at Slug as well, slipping behind one, actually gets spotted here, unfortunately. Yeah, it gets dealt with as well. And look at this, there's a bit of a fight happening. Despite being down 2, double soldiers being sent at Hubba, who serves that out quite well, but the demo will be enough to get the force. However, at what cost? Because now it is just complete cleanup from Moneyballs. Minaj is behind, gonna get cleared out here. Probably gonna be killed in IT shortly. And that's a player you don't have on last either.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, especially with Moose dying as well. There's no scouts on the beam for scout speed. They got to get the heck out of 5 and make sure they can be able to defend the doors properly if they push some other way, which they are. They've gotten through 3. They've gotten through 2 as well. Another round is gained in Moneyball's favor. That, I mean, keeping themselves on the crits was definitely ambitious. And I mean, for using the crits, eventually 2 people on the opposing team were dead. I mean, that's something to work with. But once you had that 6v4 player advantage attempting to go for the force, it just really wasn't enough to... You had to spend too many resources, so... Let's see what they have now in store for us when it comes to mid-fight strategies. Have a fast rocket jumper soldier going in behind. Slug going back to try to clean him up is a little bit of a distraction. Dingo is going to fall, so trading 1 soldier for a demo is not too bad in red team's favor. Plus they have the non-sniper who gets the Huntsman frag on the Raven, but the red team's health is very, very poor. Only 3 left alive from the side of Moneyballs is enough to kind of take things in a favorable position for themselves. It's just this rocket jumper soldier. Dinko is long, long gone, and he will eventually die. to fall damage as another mid-fight is won for Moneyballs.
And if you're fast enough here, this is definitely the kind of margins you still play into last with Dinko just not healing anyone. And it wouldn't surprise me.
No, it's sad to just go in.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either to see someone from Xiao just kind of like walk forward and feed.
Oh, they're caught. They're so caught.
Yeah.
Dinko's just dead immediately.
First
they
one
didn't even
dead.
need their team.
Yeah,
They're getting someone in one as well. He's super caught.
So they still need to cap too, but yeah, this is looking super over. And to be honest, it kind of was looking like Xiao were just kind of giving up. I don't know. They like.
I mean, this is a classic from the side of Moneyballs in terms of, hey, we don't have 2 capped. You can be relaxed. You don't have to worry about us popping in, and then they catch you lacking, and then they pop in anyway. And even though they can't do any sort of corner capping or anything, it doesn't matter because they know you're very, very catchable. So a last moment discipline check that is something that, I mean, even though Global Clan Zhao wiped it very quickly, it was still a moment that you might see repeating later on as, you know, this isn't the end of TF2 for tonight. You know, they got to go on and move on to the grand finals now, Moneyballs. So we'll see them play Froyotech, and they play in like, what, 45 minutes or so? So it was a good transition moment where you can maybe see something here repeated not too far in the future. But for Global Clan Zhao, their dream ends here. They get 3rd place. Not too bad. It's good to make playoffs. Even better to make sure you get a win somewhere and put up a good fight. They had some good moments in the matches they played for the playoff run. So definitely hats off to them. But Moneyballs will be moving on, and we're one step closer to see who will be crowned the Season 19 Invite Champions.
Alright, I'm back. I just randomly lost internet for a moment. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what that I was saying was cut off or what, but yeah, definitely was a much more confident process here than we were. I think part of that was Zhao just like, I don't know, they either lost focus or just didn't really like care that much anymore, but they were definitely pulling things out that I don't think they necessarily expected to work.
There's a certain point which you recognize that playing your normal strategy is not up to snuff if there's some sort of skill gap going on or like just a playmaking gap. So you kind of throw out, you know, they probably noticed as well, like in the beginning things were not known by Moneyballs and how things would play out. So they started getting a little, you know, creative with like, let's just do the sniper to mid thing, or, you know, let's bomb our demo in to really make sure their medic dies, etc. But it did eventually devolve just a tad. But at least they still put an effort in the beginning and before they, you know, call it quits or anything like that. But Moneyballs, they're pretty strong through and through, despite the previous process game where, you know, it took a long while and dropped around. They take it cleanly this time. But let's see. The default time, as Rumpus still deals with his internet, for the grand finals is in roughly 45 minutes. I do not expect that to really change, as there's definitely going to be some sort of break for the Moneyball players, and 45 minutes sounds fine, so I don't see why that would change in any way, shape, or form. So that will be most likely the length of the intermission, and if that ever changes, that'll be seen on the screen. That'll be in the banner or whatever. But yeah, make sure to take a break where you can in these next 45 minutes, because you definitely do not want to miss the grand finals between Moneyballs and Froyotech that will be here shortly. So we'll be back in a bit, and make sure you take care of whatever you need to up until that point where we get our Season 19 Invite Champions crowned. Catch you in a bit. Welcome back after that intermission. We have returned with the RGL Invite 6's Season 19 Grand Finals between Froyotech and Moneyballs. Got 5 maps. Well, it's a BO5, but not... Well, no, it is 5 maps, because you have to... No, there's an upper bracket advantage, so there's only 4 maps. So still, a lot of games to be played. Hopefully all the way if you're a huge TF2 fan that wants to, see as many maps as possible, but... Considering the Froyotech dominance this season, I mean, they're looking like they might want to close it out in 2. And a little bit of deja vu will start us off as we are returning to what we saw earlier on Thursday, potentially, with the first map in the series being Bagel.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a pretty strong Froyo showing, as I'm sure many people expected. There was some life, though, in Moneyballs in their last matchup here on Bagel. So we'll see if they can replicate that. or at least do even better than that. Obviously, you have the time to kind of talk over what you like to do, identify kind of, how Froyo plays this map in a match setting, things like that. But still, it's Froyo's map pick for a reason.
True. I mean, from their perspective, even though, Moneyball started to do a little bit better, they still view it as a pretty clean victory. There are a lot of dominant holds and stuff. We can take a look at the map pick bands to see how we got here and see what the rest of the maps are. Of course, Froyotech starts with the upper map advantage because they suffered no losses getting to the grand finals, so that's their first win already. Only need 2 more. First pick, Deja Vu, a little bit of Bagel. Sunshine going to get picked up in return by Moneyballs, which previously it was Gullywash, and they decided to completely ignore it this time around. And Granary is a repeat pick from Froyotech, which makes sense. They picked it last time and didn't need to play it, so obviously going to be fine just going it again since it's not banned out. And Moneyballs, once again, not wanting to repeat anything from the side of Gullywash, going with Metalworks this time around if we need the 4th map to be played.
That's interesting, because I know Granary has been often a comfort pick of Moneyballs, in fact, so Froyo opting to select it here is interesting, although I wonder now if they played on Granary in the past. They might have.
They have a bit. And
Yeah.
in the beginning, it was even-ish, but Froyotech eventually started to get a little bit more dominant showing, so it kind of makes sense that, Granary can be scary sometimes with the mids. It's another one of those, like, how we were talking about on Gullywash, where sometimes they can just kill your medic and leave or something like that to get to try to play the game. It's one of those mids sometimes, and that can be kind of difficult for the team that is the favorite to, like, have their dominance displayed in, like, a very quick fashion. But they're able to find their way, at least so far, in the scrims. But hey, scrims are scrims, right? So we'll have to see what happens if we get there. Because we might not even.
Yeah, and I mean, similar rosters as last time around. So notably, Banny is not here. He is on the Coheed cruise, having the time of his life as his team is here, grinding away grand finals. I'm sure Banny would have loved to have been there, but I think some scheduling stuff kind of mandated this. But Gungan as a replacement, absolutely a more than adequate fill. And we've seen that in the previous matchup against Moneyballs. I mean, it just looked like Froyo were as good as ever. That being said, last time around, Moneyballs were a little bit weaker in that they had Logan on med instead of their usual Hubita. So there's at least that upgrade to look forward to if you are a Moneyballs fan.
Yep. Although this is, Froyotech, despite having the technical ringer here, this is literally like a 2023 G6 roster, except Speedy's here. So
yeah, it's I understand why the team is called Froyotech, because obviously it has Banny on it, like team leading, but there are more G6 members than there are like true Froyo members. So like in my heart, I want to just call it G6, but that's just like an inherent bias, I guess, that I have against Froyo for whatever reason.
It happens sometimes. Once players have some sort of a legacy on a team, whenever they move to another team, there's enough of them, you could kind of start accidentally, like, if you're not really reading the names, which for the most part you aren't necessarily, at a certain point you kind of just know, like, hey, that's that player playing. You might, like, call them by their old team, especially if it's like a duo, like a soldier duo or a scout duo.
Right.
But yeah, Moneyballs, they probably expected this, I imagine. They recognize that they didn't have that great of a time on Bagel and chose not to ban it. Probably figured that a pick was going to come out, so they probably had a weekend to at least like think about what they need to change and try to keep amplifying whatever started to go well that made them not be so shut out at the very beginning of the Bagel rounds. So I'm optimistic about their ability to put rounds on the board and put up a really good fight. However, this is, still 2 top-level teams. They're going to, ideally, on paper, be able to bounce back and forth with adaptations on what they need to do. And considering how slow it was the first time around on Bagel for them to, like, start getting something going, like, I think it was the very last round where we start to see some real promise. They could start out strong this time around, but, if Froyotech, they need to apply a plan B, and they do it pretty quickly, and now we move on to plan C from Moneyballs, like, how long is that going to take to really get something going to keep yourself? And then when in any sort of lead you might find yourself in. So I think they're likely still on the back foot. But I mean, Koth is considered an upset map type in general. So really anything is possible. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, true. I guess I get to ask you this time what your predictions are going to be for the score this time around.
I think Hubba being back and playing on this map is definitely going to be beneficial for Moneyballs and allow them to find more success. I still think it is going to be an uphill battle. I think it's probably going to be difficult to find tons and tons of success, mostly because some of the failures weren't like they weren't super special in terms of like they had a pick and somehow wouldn't be able to steamroll it off of a pick like one of their own people. Like they'd send a 2v1 versus Kobe and Kobe would get a kill and live. Right. So like if you're getting out executed in little moments like that, it doesn't really matter what your strategy is a lot sometimes. So I think they can get around, but it'll be a 4-1 for FroyoTech, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll optimistically predict 4-2, but I do agree with you there. Like Hubba, of course, is definitely going to be an upgrade over Logan. But yeah, it didn't seem like it was Logan losing them this matchup last time around. It seemed like everyone else
elsewhere.
Honestly.
Yeah, off to a mid. Slow at the beginning. They want the point to unlock a lot of damage onto the blue team. Hubba, Dingo, not too healthy. Need to go back for the health pack and arrows and such. It gives room for FroyoTech to get on the point, but the cap's only going to unlock now, so taking the damage too early didn't mean too much. They're able to block it. There's a little cap time in favor of the red team. Soapy taking a lot of damage, going to get pushed out of the flank, but the cap is going to turn in the red team's favor. Bomb on the Dingo. Speedy giving up some of his life to try to take him out. The low is going to be the one to commit on to Kobe. Overall trail on either side of the map. 5v5s now. Running across the flank from Soapy. Hubba is pretty much out of there. Slugging into 4 HP, but is living throughout it. They find Dingo alone, bombing it. They want to be able to get another kill, but a nice air from Hubba is able to make sure he's able to live. And Speedy, I mean, he's on the sidelines, but it isn't going to go for the flank. This Uber is going to be the tool the red team needs to use to hold on to this point long term. But Hubba, he's the one that's taking the damage and not Logai. Dropped to 50 HP, makes it kind of hard to go ahead and cap this up, but they will indeed succeed just from the raw player advantage. As Ubers, they've had him for a while, not using him quite yet.
Honestly, still like surprisingly good job there from Fryo to hold the point for as long as they did despite being down 3. The pick onto Soapy though is very nice. That makes Fryo's point capping efforts that much more difficult as Bomo just getting skyboxed there from some stickies. Nonetheless though, Uber's still very much in play, so if Fryo at any point gets some momentum going on the point, which they might with Kobe traded out actually. A lot of cap time though, and yeah, it's actually going to be Fryo initiating the Ubers, and yeah, they find the kill onto Dingo. So at the very least, with this amount of cap time, I would expect to see a Fryo point flip in this post Uber. Speedy though does go down, Raven quite weak. He's going to be surviving, and Logai died as well. Bomo with the just full send across point during that Uber exchange was able to find Logai in the post, so it's going to be Uber advantage now for Moneyballs.
Yeah, the beginning of that was really good for Fryo, and it's what we saw in the previous Bagel match, where Gungan takes an exchange and finds like 4 people that need to get flash and get the Dingo kill, but Botmo just serving forward, taking Logai out of the equation means there's a bit of an advantage here for the blue team, not just in terms of the ad and players now, but the heals, making sure they're buffed up to spam down the doors and make the entry into this area of the map really slow. So with these explosive kills, and Moneyball's pretty much having their entire team up, we're off to a forward hold, which we didn't get to see too much of in the previous match, maybe a time or two near the tail end of things, but they do have ad here to hold this long term, and immediately there's a whole lot of hurt being put on the red team.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're going to see some proper time ad, I think, develop for Moneyballs, as still 30% advantage. Soapy trying to get through the door, but so weak, might just be going down, does. Speedy as well has to jump out, and that is forward hold bust. I'd say relatively unsuccessful, although Logai having Uber now means that just being down the 1 pick means you still kind of get to stay in. And we might see Fryo engage another exchange here potentially on point, but 30-second advantage on the clock for Moneyballs is definitely a comfy place to be at.
Yeah, and it's once again FroyoTech that needs to go, and Gungan was going for this exchange on the Dingo. Will be saved this time, not too much flashing. There are some stickies all over the floor that will get removed by Raven, so their collapse isn't quite there, but they did get a lot of cap time for this. Bomb coming in, so if he's going on the flank, finding low, eats the pack, is running away. They're surging forward onto the blue medic, but they will not succeed. Losing both scouts, Hail Mary play will only take bot mode out, which, oh, Speedy, they're just falling like dominoes, but it is not working out. A bit segmented there as Moneyball did a really good job backing up playing passive, even though that cap time was not going in their favor. In fact, they just let Froyotech cap pretty much, but it netted them 4 kills. They barely lost anything. So now, once again, favorable position in the forward hold.
Soapy first one through here. Takes some damage, but Gungan able to make enough space to protect him, and that will be the forward hold effectively broken. Froyo now trying to pressure the point. Now this should be even Ubers spawning from Soapy onto Loaf, very weak. Ubers are not, yeah, that's tough. So down goes Loaf. Will be traded out. Ubers unfortunately weren't in play quite yet for Moneyballs to be able to stop the point, but they actually had a 10 ad there. Kobe, yeah, finds a nice timing through the house to get the Force. Will go down, so it's 3 kills for the Force. Habib might be caught as well. No, it's Dingo going down. Traded out with Speedy. So Lol Guy having this Uber is quite nice. Elmo finding a late kill there on Habib is also nice. Just going to be disad with the forward hold here, in all likelihood for Moneyballs. Although Dingo still needs to roll out.
Yeah, it's going to make things a little rough. He jumped forward to try to chase, but they slowed down to kill the soldier. So yeah, Gungan gets hit with an ornament, but he's just walking straight through. Not afraid of traps, just takes the health pack for free. But Slug bombing in from behind as well as Low.
Nice
trying to take down Loga. They will get the Force, giving up 3 for it. If Hubba can live here, which it seems like he's pretty much out, except Speedy might have something to say about it.
My God.
Dingo protecting his medic. Overall, a pretty successful 3-man. Bot mode will find his way out. Gets the pack and is A-okay, and I mean, they didn't really get that much of a forward hold there, but they are in a favorable position with the time. They get even more because of Speedy's death, and they have an ad to work with. Bust out this forward themselves. That's down a soldier. It's soldierless. Speedy is not even quite there yet.
And I mean, it's not overtime, but 5 seconds left with ad. This is poised to just be around for Moneyball's Loaf. Oh my God, getting completely dunked there by Sophie. Uber does get popped on point. They're down a kill during this Uber. They need to find some kills. Raven turning back, finding 2. That's great. But down goes Bomo, so it's now even numbers. Some cap time on point, although at this point, Lol Guy already at 95% Uber. So things are looking much more even. Across from Slug, finds the Force. Everyone's trying to survive.
The cap, they're about to C9.
Caught out. They don't C9, but there's no heals for Moneyballs. Frail cap, so we see the recap here. A lot of cap time coming out. Just need bodies on point to stop. Soapy getting shot down, but does live. Habib saving him from Raven. Still enough cap time for this fight to continue going.
Oh, Slug's behind it, they don't know.
Yeah.
Speedy might spot him though, depending on the timing. Slug has to go in now.
See. There's like still so much cap time. They have some time.
Speedy found him.
Goes for the timing, unable to find Lol Guy there. Okay, Loaf committing now. They're still going for Lol Guy though. A lot of cap time nonetheless, but Hubba dies, so now field advantage firmly in the hands of Froyo. It's really just up to whether these players can cap right here, right now. It's only up to Habib and Lol Guy. They knock him off the point. It's round 1 for Moneyballs.
That was such a roller coaster of it was about to be a catastrophe for Froyotech, how they went forward so aggressively only to get on the cap at the last moment to the nail biting, like, are they going to be able to take it back on the side of Moneyballs? And just barely by the thinnest of margins, they are up on the board 1-0 in their favor, and we'll see how this next bagel mid progresses.
Yeah, and great start, but nonetheless, I mean, Moneyballs were in a much more comfortable to win position than it ended up being. So obviously you still need to stay focused if you're on the blue team here, because yeah, just getting the 1 round is not nearly enough. As Soapy, nice rocket there onto Slug in the house, gonna force him to go get a pack. Meanwhile, there's some duking out happening on point.
Yeah, the forcing Slug to get a pack that early as soon as the cap is undone is such good timing that allows them to be unafraid of one of the houses popping through. They exert so much pressure here that is enough to just completely win them the point. Bot mode got pushed out, couldn't block it without giving up his life, so he's trying this time. He's getting some cap. Careful of the stickies that are around Habib. Very aggressive cut off. Loaf on top of the Uber save him. Trying to run forward at least somewhat. Get the Loaf kill. Dingo alone. Unbeaten. They kill him as well. They're just out. They've recognized it's just a successful force. It was an accident, but it was a successful force. But oh, the last second.
Yikes.
Bomb a soldier straight into Hubba's face, and that is no longer a successful force for the blue team. It's just a really bad exchange. They have just 2 picks to work with. They got people rolling out, so there is a window, but it is a small one.
True, they're at least getting through the doors, but Froyo with full minute on the clock over Moneyballs, plus playable ad, all things considered. I mean, on Koth. Spomo full crossing point there. Loaf finds a kill, and house shove here from Loaf, landing on Lolguy, finds the spoon. Suddenly that 20% disab no longer mattering. Everyone on Froyo is so weak at the time of Lolguy dying that an immediate 4-man response is just not really in the cards. We might see some delayed aggression, but no, it looks like these players are fine, just living for now and regrouping for a potential 4-man in the future.
Yeah, they probably have to play this fast because they know that Loaf's not there and they're about to have Uber on the side of the blue team. So immediately sending themselves in for trying to go behind. They're able to find Loaf. This Uber is available. Habib popped him in the air, surfs back. Bomo running forward. Wants to find Lolguy because they notice he doesn't have scout speed. So they go straight through. They're on the opposing side of the map, and this is a great play. As soon as they saw that beam disconnect, they were full forward.
Yeah, point got capped off by Froyo had the point, I guess, to begin with. But nonetheless, finding a kill onto Lolguy. Very important there. You can kind of get the point at your leisure after, although Kobe with a nice kill there onto Raven. Still, no heals for Froyo, so it will just be cleanup. Slowly but surely down goes Gungan. And all Moneyballs have to do is not deny. And I'm pretty sure Hubba picked up the Medigun because he's already at 80%.
Yeah, he is already at his Uber. I mean, not quite to immediately block this as Froyotech will go ahead and almost cap this up. I don't think they know either. Advancements positioning. Habib's just dead. They run across. Once again, okay, no, he does have scout speed on him, but a soldier bombs in. Lolguy is just dead. As they're trying to go in. They know this house is the area that Moneyballs has been sitting for now. Hubba at 26 HP is finding a way to escape. Can Sophie find the right door? 9 HP, the second splash rocket kills him. That's a blue medic dead.
That is crazy. Yeah, I mean, that was just such a heads-up play from Moneyballs to pick up the Medigun, and catching Lolguy off guard with that as well is quite impressive, but Soapy with just the perfect salvage just when Froyo needed it. And despite some of these fights going very well for Moneyballs, I mean, you look up at the clock and Froyo still have a full minute advantage and now Uber advantage as well.
Yeah, Speedy's getting ran at by Bobo. He's just going straight in. Double soldier bomb onto the combo. They're surfing back a little bit. Meanwhile, Sophie's doing the same onto Hubba. Has to surf to the other side of the map. And 3 dead immediately. They're dropping like flies. Both teams having the same idea for a play, to play aggressive right at that moment. But one team holding us, one team holding forward. That means one team's combo is much easier to kill because they're presenting themselves to the other.
Yeah, we do see the sniper spawn from Raven here. Pretty common strat to break a forward hold, or at least, you know, catch a peek on someone peeking a little too deep left side. But 50 seconds left. Froyo with 80 ad, finding a trade. I mean, this round could very easily unwind here if things don't go quite well quite soon for Moneyballs. They are sacking both soldiers out, or at least bombing them out. Loaf trying to find a trade onto Habib, just barely misses out. And yeah, now 30 seconds left.
At least the Sophie kill gives you some room to recognize that maybe your flank won't get run over when you're trying to get in, or that you can get through these doors cleanly. You know, that kind of broke the forward hold, but Speedy and Kobe, Speedy's kind of supplementing a little bit with Kobe over in this house area, how they might just kind of flank them. Sophie in now, bombing on the Dingo, notices him alone. Raven taking some of the damage as well. They need to get this force, but they also have to get on the cap time.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of damned if you do, damned if you don't. They're trying to go now, getting the overtime, trying to get the Uber as well. Drop, no spam damage comes through. They pop in, Speedy going behind, trying to find Slug. Will be able to get that kill.
Someone can cap here. That's important. Raven will be getting on the point. Oh man, Dingo
cap time.
Okay, still need cap time. Still need cap time.
Someone go back, bot mode.
Almost.
Second.
This is so close.
Though?
Speedy, yeah, Speedy should go down on point. Okay, there's at least a recap here, but still, I mean, overtime is so brutal to have to deal with. Refight though from Froyo, I mean, they do not have the players to really support this. They will be all getting out, so no harm, no foul there.
Yeah, they have most of their team here for the side of the blue team. They're only missing Speedy on Froyotech, so it's probably going to be a couple seconds before they can actually initiate something. But actually, no, Sophie going in right off the bat. They had enough damage despite missing a player just on a spam entry, I suppose, that allows them to go for that initial play. And they're trying to survive. But,
yeah, all this cap time plus overtime. Because with even 1 second on the clock, Raven would need the generational components here to hold things off. No. Yeah, I mean, with even 1 second on the clock, you can at least afford to maybe back up and really quickly kill that flank shove and then focus your attention on point. with overtime, you really just aren't afforded even that small luxury. You need to be on the point no matter what.
It's kind of what we were talking about before, a little bit of deja vu to the other match, where they'll have a kill. I mean, Speedy was alive, but he was at spawn. They have a kill, so you think like, oh, like they should get really good spam here and be able to like survive for a little bit. No, as soon as Froyotech got through those doors, they immediately started working that flank pick, and it just did dividends for their team. So they're being the embodiment right now of the player advantage on paper really does not matter between both these teams, at least for short term, is there's so much damage on blue. Slug's gonna fall. Raven almost died as well, and they're on the move inside the house, trying to put damage on bot mode, be able to kill him. Dingo popped in the air.
Yeah, Dingo
nice
might be
arrow,
next
but
to
it's
him.
not enough.
Yep, just dominoes falling one after the other here. Froyo do get the cap, and they are peeking into lobby as well. Maybe trying to catch someone, not, catch them, make them be honest, actually go back to their spawn rather than just linger in lobby, assuming you're not going to push. But here's the Froyo forward hold. And
Trying to bust through.
yep, sticks get dead, so it will be a relatively clean bust through from Moneyballs, but Froyo got a good 30 seconds off the clock there.
Yep. The question is will Gungan play as aggressive with this Uber exchange, even though they own the point? Maybe if he sees a really good Uber exchange that causes a lot of flashing, but otherwise they're just sitting for now. He's taking a lot of damage though. Eventually his hand's gonna get forced. But Froyotech need a whole lot of heals in general. The only thing they have to work off is Hubba dropping. I was about to say the only thing they have to work off of is Hubba's low, but I guess that call means Speedy gets adventurous and wonders if he's going towards the health pack, and was indeed correct. Catches him beforehand, and that's a blue Uber. Poof, gone.
Yeah, and like the worst part about that as well is Logai is just so non-committed. Like everyone is in such safe positioning. Even Speedy is not committed through the door, so he doesn't even die for that. It's just a spam kill. So you basically, as Froyo, just get to relax. I mean, obviously worry for an impending sack wave or something to that extent. Super actually getting popped here. Chasing finds Bomo and Loaf, but no Hubada. So the more important kill there does elude Froyotech, but with these two players behind getting caught out as well, it's going to be basically a 5-kill Uber, and missing out on the med kill when you have a minute and a half advantage on the clock, you're really not beating yourself up over that if you're Froyo.
And Moneyballs can't be too mad either, because they can just consider that, okay, we 4-manned and forced an Uber. I think Froyo saw that Dingo and Hubado were alone, but hey, no scout speed, let's go. But I think Habib's bomb kind of got screwed, and he couldn't like sticky the exit properly, so and it kind of screwed it. But they do have Uber. The ad is dwindling though, so anything that Froyo does here just to slow things down and makes them paranoid works amazingly. They're getting a little bit of cap time. The Uber immediately comes out. Dingo a bit slow to bomb though, does not go in the same direction as the combo. Might just end up dying. He's at 17 HP. They get the kill on the low guy and Habib, but they give up their combo for it as well. It's a scrappy fight. If they cap this, it's not going to be good for the respawners as Soapy standing tall on top of the point. It's actually the red team that will remain victorious in this fight as Slug getting killed down at 20 HP. I mean, getting the medic and then the demo, pretty nice, but they separated on their chase. Their posting per position was no man's land, where they just ended up dying, and all they have to write home for it is just a little bit of cap time.
Yep, there goes Hubada. Good flank from Sobi. Gets a lot of damage from Dingo as well. This round is kind of unwinding at this point. No heals for anyone on blue, so these scouts are just going to get beamed and run around. Bomo is behind. Getting dealt with relatively well, I would say. Logai is weak, could go down, but even if we see the cap here from Moneyballs, which they don't even go for it quite yet, they're just happy with the cap. Oh my god! Oh wow. The Rap Assassin finds a kill.
Buys time for them to maybe get this cap time as well, but all the 4-man onto Raven, onto Hubada, he's blown, they're both gonna die, they separate, Raven goes to plat and Hubada goes to stairs,
and they still
that
need
kills
the cap.
Both of them. They do. They've been holding off because they don't want to delay their respawner, because that just kills their team basically, and that's the end of the round. But they lose so many players so much, and the skill stick from Speedy. What a performance.
Very long overtime here, so Bomo is
going to
cap it up until Loaf spawns and then actually convert it. There's gonna be 2 kills in the favor of Moneyballs, but remember earlier when Froyo had overtime and they just kind of won the game?
Yeah, the kills didn't matter. So,
yeah, imagine that.
That's 2 of them though.
Oh my god.
They're 4-manning. They're just all laying it. It's dry. They're just trying to fight right now. They're, yeah, like you said, they're full setting it. Hubba will die. They didn't get any kills for this. They finally killed Sophie, but everyone's all scattered. They're not fighting together. That was a very ambitious play, and to be honest, maybe something like that is needed just because it's unorthodox, and so far, other plans have not necessarily worked out the best for them, but that left something to be desired. As another round picked up for Froyotech, 2-1 in their favor.
Yeah, and I mean, with the full 3-minute deficit into a team with overtime, into Froyo with overtime, it does kind of make sense where it's like, we need to just wipe them right now to get some real advantage to go off of, or we're going to lose the round anyway, so let's just go for it. No big deal. But Froyo now clawing back their way to the lead after slipping up of round 1.
Yeah, a lot of damage on the wall guy early, but he'll just regen that up because there's no aggressive plays that are happening quite yet. Slug is a little bit adventurous inside the house, but not too much. Cap time in favor of the blue team. Gunning is not really on top of things as they, or no, he is on top of things getting the cap. It's bot mode that was going off an adventure in the right side house, sacrificing the cap time to see if they could try to kill Speedy, but they will not be so successful. He was playing safe enough that he was not necessarily a kill, and instead it's going to be Slug that is dying. So having one person down, even Ubers, you want to try to go ahead and buy some cap time here, but they're holding down the fort pretty strong. Habib laying down the stickies. Dingo getting a little bit bullied. He did eat an arrow, so he's fine for now. It's Kobe's turn to have to run off for a pack. Eventually, at some point, you've got to just go ahead and use your Uber. They've got Speedy 3 HP. They have a little bit of extra room here, but they really don't want to use off the bat on the side of the blue team. They got the kill on the Soapy. We'll see how much that means for them as they're still poking in. Gungan will be the first to use Uber running forward, causing some flashing. Dingo stuck in this spot. Goes over to the side, so he can kill Kobe. Maybe getting chased by Gungan? No. But Kobe doesn't care. He just kills him. He'll die for it, but that is a good example of Froyotech really not caring. They get the arrow kill across the map from Lol Guy. He will die, but that is a fight victory for Froyotech.
Yeah, I mean, that can show why, like, as the team trying to get point, you obviously would prefer neither team to have Uber, because if you, like, say, get a demo kill, or even just damage on the demo or something like that, it's usually enough to convert such a fast capping point as Bagel. But if the other team has Uber, they just get to kind of walk on point and press that button and reset things. You prefer there not being Ubers in play, but, you know, the prospect of crossing point and getting a force out of them does have some risk associated, because if you just don't get the force, you're giving the other team Uber advantage really for nothing.
Yeah, Lol Guy got ornamented, but they weren't able to use the passive medic positioning to try to bully the people from blocking the point. In fact, it's the red team that's actually getting really aggressive over on the right side of the map. Kobe will end up getting cleaned up. The even Uber scenario, but the Ubers aren't in play yet, so red team cannot use that as a tool to try to go ahead and block it. Sophie going behind, drawing some eyes, 2 rockets. Loaf just kind of caught basically in a whirlwind is once again jumping out just over their heads. He's invincible at this point. 6 HP, that's 5 more than you need. And now with so much time bought, the Ubers are in play to where if Gungan needs it, he'll go for this exchange, which have been pretty good so far. They get the kill into Soapy, finally, over on the side of the house. Raven needs to get arrowed up. They're getting the cap time. They don't want to Uber for this yet, actually. They're playing a bit passive.
On point, in fact.
Yeah.
So now down 2 for Froyo. More than enough to convert the point. Kobe fighting in-house does find the kill onto Slug, but it gets cleaned up after, but the Habib bomb does go down. No force. So, yeah. Quick little, we're down guys anyway. Let's just send the rest, and maybe we can get a force kind of play. Does not connect this time around. That does enable Moneyballs to at least set up a little bit of a forward hold. They still have a soldier rolling out, so yeah, identifying that is just going to be an overwhelm here on the left side of the map, where you're expecting that soldier weakness to be more pronounced. Sophie, though, almost dying for it.
Yeah, that would have bought a lot of time for the side of Moneyballs, but he's fine. He just has to go collect some health packs. Kobe will not be fine. After being on a tirade for so long, they're starting to put a pin in his plays and giving him a hard time surviving in a lot of these positions where he's not even that aggressive per se. So I'll have to definitely use this Uber as a tool as usual to try to go ahead and go for this. Kobe will respawn. That'll prompt them going forward for the exchange. Being a bit till they actually use and making sure they save Dingo bot mode once again, going out of the side of the house, finds no one, so it's A-okay. Soapy marking a post, going behind a distraction. They're turning around, they're getting some cap time, they're trying to push Dingo out of it. But so far, not a lot of kills, just some damage on the Hubada. 30 HP. Sophie behind, could be a thorn on the side. It's Dingo that's going to fall. They're able to get Sophie behind, but they've got 2 explosive classes with Hubada. At 10 HP, he can't be aggressive to heal these guys when he's getting run out with such low HP. Bot mode will probably be the last one to die here in this fight as things finally settle down. And Froyotech, just off of Sophie's distraction, able to take this pretty cleanly, only having him die and have this cap back in their name.
Yeah, good bomb from Speedy during that fight as well, just finding a 2-rocket onto Dingo and then cleaning up Bomo late in the fight afterwards as well. Nevertheless, no forward hold will be present from Froyotech, so it is free reign to approach the point. Although the Uber advantage, yeah, Hubada is going to be caught out here, going down to Habib, and they find Raven as well during that. Dingo is shortly to follow, and Shoe's kind of on the other foot now. Hubada earlier caught Lolgai off guard with some slight advantage this time around. It's going to be Froyotech recognizing that same situation, and with only 5 seconds left, you really need a miracle here for Moneyballs.
Oh, and Sophie's just feeding in. He gets Hubada, slows him down. There's realistically no way that they're going to be able to get to the cap in time anyway, though. Like, the distance from the spawn, as well as everyone in the back, the 2 players in the back getting hunted down and chased. I mean, after that, at the end of that fight, worked out in Froyotech's favor. That was pretty much an end of a round there, so... After a strong start in the beginning, Moneyballs, we talked about the adaptation. Froyotech is definitely putting in the work to make sure that they get these 3 rounds pretty swiftly, but anything's possible. They've started to make it difficult for Kobe to play the game. Now they just have to work on Soapy, because his distractions are working tenfold, at least for now, as another mid pops off here.
Yeah, Raven's been doing a great job at shutting down Kobe lately. But there's obviously, 5 other extremely talented players besides Kobe. Gungan actually a lot of damage on point, but able to live. However, it will be Habib going down. Traded out with low, but valuable trade nonetheless if you are Moneyballs. That might be enough to convert point. Gungan's fighting for it, but some presence from the house is never mind. Speedy is going to be able to converge on that kill with Gungan onto Bomo, and now it's going to be Froyo getting the point first.
Yeah, they find Slug as well, so they're just kind of falling like dominoes. They need to get out of there, or at least maybe show a presence to maybe deny a forward hold, but with 2 dead, you probably can't have too much aggression there, realistically. Had someone dead and respawning at the same time, so bot mode will get picked. I think he was testing the waters, had his team over there, but unfortunately eats a little bit too much spam. That buys even more time for this Froyotech hold, as they need bot mode up where they can go for the Uber exchange out. That's pretty much what's going to happen here. Previously, we saw a disconnect between Lolgai and Soapy in this situation, or do you exchange on this platform position, or do you bait them out? But it's not going to apply this time, as bot mode goes the other direction with his team and still dies just to the different spam.
Free flank finds a force. And even before Soapy found this force, when it was just even Ubers, you're getting forward held off the mid. It's already kind of the exact worst, or not worse, but exact position you don't want to see as Moneyballs on, map point. But especially after getting forced like that. They're finding kills, but Lolgai actually ends up using Uber here. I think, with the positioning of Lolgai and Gungan, they were definitely committed to the point. I guess they're just happy to take cap time, maybe fight with spawners.
Yeah, as much as Moneyballs probably didn't expect the fight to go that way, and losing bot mode all that time and losing all that time, they did get all those kills. Let them get the point and get aggressive and get this force out of Lolgai. They're going to lose Slug in return, though, and Loaf. A lot of space gained, so, I mean, at the end of the day, they got the point for a little bit and got all those kills, but for what? I mean, realistically, Froyotech, they gave it up for a little bit, dealt with the little speed bumps they had to go over, and still find themselves in a pretty good position. The ad is not that great for the blue team. It's very, very hard to use.
Yeah, especially like getting through a forward hold as well. Because at this point, Lolgai's already at 85.
Oh, and the flank.
Uber does get popped, but Lolgai is out and safe. Has someone to heal, so he will be getting... Raven goes down during the Uber as well. It's just a scout trade. We could see an aggressive Froyo Uber potentially. They don't have a scout with the beam at the moment. Gungan needs to link up. Does meet up now. But Froyo had the point this entire time, mind you. Uber gets popped now. Hubada's caught. Yeah.
They're afraid to... Yeah. They were afraid to back up because Soapy was still behind and they were trying to deal with them, so they weren't all the way out in the doorway, afraid of his potential, but being forward means that you're completely caught, so kind of stuck, and that's a really good Uber from Froyo.
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing some
Mission ends in 30
Gully Wash. We're gonna see
Sunshine.
Sunshine shortly, which yeah, I mean, at this point, 20 seconds left. At the very least, Logai's not gonna get Uber in the immediate future.
Oh, the sweep. Soapy's dead. The sweep happens right here. Gungan's dead. They're doing it. It's live. Loaf's in. Vamo dies, unfortunately, for the side of Moneyballs, but you know, they're trying to hold it down. They've lost 2. They need the cap time. Froyotech, they're still in this, though. They have their 15% ad they used before. Surely they can use an even bigger one this time. It's available now. Flank from Slug gets the force. Raven's dead. They need to be able to get on this cap afterwards, though. Losing Dingo.
Kind of
Hubba's
just
alone.
the overtime plus Uber situation where you just get to sort of win the game. I mean, those 2 kills should be enough if he does go down, but there just aren't enough bodies to actually get cap time on the point, which of course Moneyball's needed to do there. But yeah, I mean, kind of a tale as old as time in grand finals. Looking a little even early on, and then Froyo just kind of picks up steam.
There was so much time killed. I mean, like you said, in the beginning, it was looking pretty even, and then eventually it came back to like, okay, Froyotech, you know, are put on the back foot. They need to start adapting a little bit. They do successfully adapt, and then Moneyballs. The ball's back in their court. It's deja vu of the Thursday match where it took them a long time to really get things going, and you know, we see I think 2 separate rounds where they don't even put 30 seconds on the clock.
Yeah.
So just I think a loss of opportunities, so it really hurt them there to make it a more close and even game, because there are many times where the fight kind of ended before it began, and many advantages that weren't unable to be capitalized because of just moments of Froyotech, whether it be Soapy or Kobe or whoever, having really clutch moments that kind of made it look like there wasn't any disadvantage in the first place.
Yeah, and I mean, based on the log, Froyo were just getting more kills and damage, which obviously is going to help things. They were winning more fights, generally speaking. But that being said, I mean, even the fights that Moneyballs won, there was often like an asterisk associated with that, because they'd win a fight in the sense where they preserve ad, usually, oftentimes, and maybe they get some kills or whatnot, and then, you know, now you're in the position to cap point. But during all of that, like all that work you put in, I mean, Froyo were getting 20, 25 seconds off the clock, and like that is compensation for, you know, even losing the fight. It's just so many times where it feels good, Moneyballs are winning multiple fights in a row, and then you look up at the clock and it's just like minute advantage for Froyo.
Yeah, it's all about how fast you can get your victories, because even if you ping pong back and forth where it's like, oh wow, there's been like 8 fights so far and they've shared victories evenly, 4 and 4, and then you look up at the clock, it's like, oh, one team is actually achieving their victories way quicker than the other. And it's little things like that that sparks the difference between 2 teams that in some ways look like they're evenly matched in a moment, and then all of a sudden it's not really.
And I think we were seeing some of that mentality in that stay we saw from Froyotech, Gungan and Logai being the only ones alive with ad. And obviously this isn't a situation in which you'd be able to like get a kill on Hubada and get out and preserve ad. Like they are willingly giving away their ad for what's effectively like another 10 seconds left for their spawners to show up and then take a messy fight. And they are banking on the fact that we can just delay the point even longer and get more time than we would by leaving, letting them set up a little bit and then trying to make something happen with our Uber head.
Yeah, a lot of times Uber is merely just a tool used to buy time for respawners, and the most prevalent example of that is Koth in general. So you definitely see a whole lot of that, and you don't do it by default all the time, but if you think by which the margins you need to like delay is perfect enough for that 8 seconds to, you know, go through, and you know, you're willing to just kind of expend it even if you don't get too much to get your team there, and then you win from that point on, even though you don't have the Uber anymore.
Yeah, well, that is the last Koth we're going to see in this series definitively. And bear in mind as well, for the folks at home, Froyotech, being the team in the upper bracket, have a inherent map advantage. So in this best of 5, they started out 1-0, they are now 2-0, aka if they win here on Sunshine, it is all over. So back against the wall for sure if you're Moneyballs.
Yeah, we've seen some reverse sweeps in the past. when you're in the situation where you're down one. But it is a very tall order. It's not a difficult thing to do, and there's a reason why we say, oh, we've seen it in the past, rather than saying it's a mainstay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to pull at all the stops. I don't think we've seen them play Sunshine yet, so it might be a little bit of a mystery about what we're going to see, especially when it comes to mid fights. Because I add Sunshine as one of those maps where the mids are really hard to predict, not just as people that are watching, but as like if you're even playing Sunshine in general, because unlike Gully Wash, there is actually a really even split on, or at least more even, like even-ish, on whether teams play left or right side, which means that there's 4 different like baseline combinations of how teams will meet on the mid, and how you as a player need to play based on what your team strategy is. That changes on the fly based on what their team strategy is, and that leads a whole lot of variables that make it just a huge question mark for predictability.
Yeah, plus you mix in whether there's a soldier rolling out cafe or not, plus the pace the other team wants to play. Yeah, definitely many variables there to a Sunshine mid.
The rounds, though, themselves, you have a little bit of an easier time. It's more normal. The stalemates, whether it be on second to mid or mid to last, are pretty standard. The only thing that might throw you a curveball is sometimes like the Batcat plays that get put into effect, like going through like Valley, etc., things like that to go to 2. But what are you thinking for the predictions? It's not too much longer until we'll end up going live. I'm pretty sure it'll be a little bit, because I think Froyo has one person restarting TF2, so it'll be a sec. But what are you thinking for the score?
I want to see another map. I want to see my friends do well here, but it's hard not to see some Froyo momentum here and expect just kind of a 5-0. I don't know. You were correct about the 4-1 last time, so I'm ready to trust your judgment.
On one hand, the predictability, or the unpredictability, you would think could lead into Moneyball's favor, because it's like, oh, if they're on the back foot, then them pulling out something that Froytech doesn't necessarily expect could net them a pretty good spot in like finding a way to take like a mid. But I don't think, just based on the pure fact of what we see on Bagel, how they find themselves in 2v1s and still sometimes lose them, makes me hard to think that they would find themselves in too many positions from mids where they would wipe the other team and just get a last push and just win it. I think it's going to be an uphill battle. It's going to be too many uphill battles that eventually a mistake will be made somewhere that Froyotech will punish and capitalize on, that will allow a close game but not allow round conversions. So I'm going to say 5-0 for Froyo.
Fair enough. Yeah, I will say from watching Bagel, I mean, everyone on, well, obviously everyone on Froyo is playing quite well, but everyone on Moneyballs is playing well as well. Like, you see series sometimes where a team will have a kind of weak link and Froyo will exploit that, but it's not really something I've been noticing. Everyone's kind of been pulling their weight, and that could bode well for them on Sunshine.
Yep, everyone's doing their job, and when it comes to that many variables, that's what you especially need, because it's hard to pick up the slack of another player that accidentally makes a mistake or gets extra pressure on when you don't necessarily know what their job at mid was going to be. Like, if you imagine a gully wash mid, if a player calls they're in trouble, you kind of have an idea of what's happening to them and where they are, etc., etc. But you can call where your team's going on mid and how you want to play it, but you don't know what you're really facing at all until the last second. So it makes it difficult for you to bail out your opponents, which requires much more individual stability. And flexibility.
True. Well, everyone's on the server now, so we might be going at any moment. We've already done predictions. We already talked about Sunshine. I guess calm before the storm, just in anticipation. Now, I will say, I mean, TF2 in general, but North American TF2 is not immune to this. If sometimes, like, the grand finals is just the, like, the last little sputter and the more exciting matches happen earlier on. I really hope that's not the case. And I saw definitely a spark of hope there on that first bagel round because things were looking good for Moneyballs.
I think they're showing promise on the side of Moneyballs. It's just a battle of who takes the fewer amount of rounds or just time in general playing the map to adapt to the other team's playstyle. I did not do research on their Sunshine scrims, as little as scrims can count for sometimes, because, you know, if things change over time, etc. People prepare various amounts compared to playoff and scrims, of course. But, you know, they did the pick bans, like, right before we started, so I'm not sure about their history on Sunshine in terms of what normally happens in a scoreline or who goes crazy and things like that. But I am hoping for a little bit of Raven Sniper. Not too much though, because I think it'll get snuffed out quick if they do it, but I'm just hoping for some wild plays that we couldn't necessarily see on Bagel because of the type of map that Bagel was. But it's not going to be too much longer for us to wait and see what happens. We are live here on what could potentially be the last map here on Sunshine between Moneyballs and FroyoTech.
Absolutely, and we do have Loaf with a bit of a faster rollout just to pressure Habib, no commit. He's going to need to go get a pack, and we're looking at a meet mid. It's going to be, looks like Speedy having to jump away there after meeting midair. Damage is more favorable, I would say.
Oh, Dingo's alone!
Dingo, isolated by Choke, he's the first pick, but traded out with Habib, so neutral exchange there. However, oh man, low guy quite weak. It's 3 for 3, anyone's mid.
Hubba's going for those arrows. He sees the little guy's HP. They know they can play confident. He dodges. No, gets hit by the ornament, actually. He has to go back to the pack. They give so much space to the blue team. They're back now. They have the ad. Hubba definitely knows. Oh no. Little guy was not looking at the medic because he had to go back for the health pack. And I didn't quite see if he did it alone or not. But either way, blue team recognizes like the, 10% ad? Takes it. And they get the kill they need.
Great start. And I'm a little disappointed that they weren't just hard building instantly after that, because this is only going to shake out to be about 30 ad compared to what could have been like 40 ad playable into last off a fast second transition. And in fact, it looks like there's no resistance on 2 at all. Gungan is already on last building a gun, so might still be playable into last when all is said and done. And in fact, Logai not doing the best building either, so
Scouts are off-classing, and then the explosives were trying to delay on too, so they weren't with oh, it doesn't matter. Kobe's a magician.
That's just, man, I mean, that really just comes down to rushing things, because like that's such a common sniper angle that needs to get cleared when you're taking lobby. You really don't want your med to ever be crossing over that sight line without it being very clearly articulated that it's safe.
And the soldier's already red HP. They can't really go for the sack unless they get fixed up at the last second. Loaf bombing in. There's no medic in sight to really land on. They get the kill on the Speedy, which is something. Still dealing with disad. Slug is going to die. But this is going to be a cap that goes in FroyoTech's favor.
Yep. And as you were mentioning earlier, I mean, you know, it's not enough to win a mid or win like a couple scenarios back to back. You really need to go the distance and chain things together. Nice rockets there. Does kill the pocket scout, so that should delay the push a little bit. Kobe now, however, linking up with the heals. So looks like Freo were poised to really only take the 1 point, I suppose, with this ad. I guess they got second, but it was kind of a freebie. As Slug bombing in. I mean, there's some action happening. Yeah, 2 for 2 trade. Slug is about to go down, yep. And that's going to buy a lot of space. It's actually not going to be a point at all that Freo gets. So really great kind of staggered aggression there from Moneyballs just to put the pressure on, make that dry push just so much more difficult for Freo.
Yeah, Logai left Cafe and the rest of the team poised towards the choke. And while Logai was unattainable, there were definitely 2 or 3 people around that area that they could just go out and just land on them instead, get those kills. And that's enough to buy time to stabilize the positioning. So the little mistake coming from the side of FroyoTech is capitalized. Moneyballs, they find themselves on mid, holding an even stalemate. And we'll see how they begin to break it. Ball's in their court. They're going towards Valley, it looks like, biding their time just a tad, bringing one of the soldiers and a demo as well. We'll see how they begin to do this, if they go just straight in onto the medic or if they try to go behind.
Yep, Slug is jumping onto the fence. Just spawn things, gonna be jumping off now. Valley is a very common door to be pressuring into second here. Slug jumping on the fence again, this time trying to go behind. It will be Kobe thinking about chasing that fight, but no, Slug is just going to bomb back into choke. There's some space being created here, but I'd say as Freyr, you're still relatively comfortable with the state of things. No sack has really been sent quite yet. It's just soldiers getting healed up, trying to make some space with their health, and kind of resetting his loaf. Might just be committing here. Ooh, nice first rocket, but...
Yeah, not quite enough. Moneyball's back to mid. Soapy taking a lot of damage. He's not able to really counter-sack as quick as he wants to, so I will doubt we'll see any counter-sack at all, to be honest. So we're just gonna set up. He's there to spam a little bit. Maybe Dingo would be a free kill if he's unbeamed, which he is unbeamed, but their team's kind of right there, so he's not gonna go for it and be too late. He might just surf it away anyway, so they're just chilling for now. Enough damage is at least done to prevent Hubba from being under threat. So back to the drawing board. The skip in, the scout body block though.
Yeah,
no
that's
dice.
brutal. Might find almost found the kill there, actually, on the Gungan, who I think was actually just outside of melee range, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, at this point, minute 20 left. What are you gonna do as Moneyballs? Because Freo are certainly not feeling the pressure. Because again, like, a new mid is very clearly within reach.
Yeah,
Maybe exchange coming here almost.
Maybe. There's so much spam to go through though. I mean, Habib's there, kind of sticking it off. If they get rid of all of Habib's stickies, it might make it so that he doesn't have to. He's not able to lock things out for the post, which could be pretty nice. But they're buying their time. Yeah, they're definitely gonna go for it. Dingo's trying to soften them up, make it worth it, or at least get them closer. They're going for it, but it's kind of baited at least a little bit. They're just holding us.
Yeah.
They will lose Gungan. They've brought Dingo in to make sure extra damage comes in to eventually get the force, but they've left Niva directions. Dingo's dead. The team left Choke, Dingo left Cafe.
Scouts. Habib
They
very
get this
weak.
force though.
They get the force.
They
This is
won the
actually going to be a
flank fight.
very
This is big.
fightable post. If Hubba can stay alive, does get the pack. Okay. Yeah, post Uber. Now
Oh,
they
it's
just
Habib's
lose
world.
two.
It's Habib's world. So much damage on the slug. He's alive somehow.
Oh, God.
Hello?
Bomo's chasing lobby as well. Oh my god, it's a 2v1 now into Bomo, who was healthy. 16 seconds
And there's no
left.
cap
We
time.
need some cap time, which should be achievable here. Slug is already on bats.
Two people are spawning at second though.
Oh,
There, it's a
man.
4v5.
Oh, Slug goes down. This really is anyone's fight at this point. Bomo quite weak. There's a sliver of cap time. Yeah, it's looking like a
They
reset
can't.
at this point. Oh, man.
They had those flank kills. They did a pretty good job flushing them out into lobby, but going for the chase, being greedy
Yeah.
about it. I think they lost one or two extra players. They put so much pressure on Habib and also failed to kill him. And instead of just going for the cap, it's not necessarily the wrong play if you think you can actually get extra kills there and then cap later. But not getting anything and actually losing people instead will kind of throw that potential
So
away.
fast. Nice serve from Dingo, will be fine. And now we're looking at normal mid. Habib takes a bunch of damage here. Gonna be a commit from Slug, landing behind in Valley. A lot of pressure, and just walking forward here from Moneyballs. The counter bomb comes out from Sophie. Does go down though. Habib died in the meantime as well. Logai's quite committed. Is probably caught out here, and Slug is behind as well. Gungan's still on mid. It's just Slug versus Kobe on the back lines. And wow, yet another mid with ad for Moneyballs.
Yeah, the soldier bombs really tried to go in for Hubda, and then they immediately got punished for it. They died. While the space that Slug made, I mean, he put a rocket on the low guy, made him surf out a bit, be a bit afraid, but it wasn't a committal, and Slug didn't immediately die as well. So overall, the soldier execution was a bit more favorable for the side of the blue team, which really made things better long term when the second phase of the fight kicked off and they really started to gun for kills. Especially since they were granted a couple of them in the beginning with the soldier picks, so
This
ad
time
for blue
lobby
team.
getting baited appropriately as well, so they will be able to pop the super into last, and they're looking to take it left side. Okay, skip here from
skipping it.
Dingo. There is a gun being moved, however. A lot of cap time actually out of that Uber. No cross, but plenty of cap time. We're seeing the bomb across now, landing on low guy. So weak, does go down. Very valuable kill there. Habib dies as well. Speedy landing, trying to find Hubada. He's very weak. It's not looking like a round per se, but still a solid push from Moneyballs. Dingo, only one left alive.
Yeah, they felt pressured like they needed to go for that medic kill, as if Logai was going to be able to get Uber in time to actually block the point just with the Uber, but a little bit of a miscalculation because he was still a little bit away from getting it. So they don't clean up they don't take advantage of the cap time they gain. They don't go for some other target like the demo to allow that cap time to come in as like a second scout gets on or anything.
Yeah.
They just felt forced into it, unfortunately for them. and it just kind of led to them being caught underneath by the pill bottle and just taking all the same damage.
Which makes you wonder if their confidence might be a little shaken, honestly, compared to earlier against Zhao, because I feel like a more confident team would kind of realize you can take your time, you're in a good position off of that Uber. Nevertheless, though, this pressure into last is going to probably convert into a double, make it a triple sack, actually. Low finding some kills, though, finding 2, in fact. 1 onto Habib. It is 3 for 3. It is ad for Lolguy, but still fight. Never mind. Lolguy goes down. Dingo finding that kill with the Raven distraction. Now it's just a matter of can this demo keep his medic alive. It's a tall ask. And unfortunately, these 2 combat players are going to find both kills. Momo is back in, and we're looking at a scout 1v1 on 2 that Gungan wants no part in.
But because Habita was such a late death, as well as Dingo as well, if Red Team can live here, get Lolguy spawned up, they can use the heal advantage and the player advantage to start poking around it too, or at least lobby to see if there's any kills to be gained. Like Slug was pretty aggressive there, but they're deciding not to go for it. A bit of a too aggressive of a play. They know that there would be a threat of like a back cap. They don't want to deal with it because that would just kind of kill any momentum they have on 2. Yep. So just playing it safe. They're saying, hey, we can go for the round reset. This is a G6 classic, and you have many Raven? G6 players here, so unsurprising. But the trap from Dingo, the bait.
That's so valuable. The gun's being moved as well. Lolguy's in danger. Gungan goes down, so that's no engineer. I pointed out Raven earlier because he had a shot on the med on a cross. But there's a fight happening right now. Trade out with Bomo and Lolguy. Just clean up. Just piece after piece falling for Froyo. I mean, it obviously was all initiated from that fantastic trap of Dingoes, but we're looking at, yet again, don't want to get my hopes up, but a first round going to Moneyballs.
You got the PTSD of dying to the double soldier bomb into lobby too many times. Dingo set up the defense and gets the kills needed, but onto their mid, like you said, been Moneyball's favored. Habib a bit weak. Same thing you said for Dingo though, that's just how it is on Demoman Sunshine. They're able to get their arrows though, but a lot more damage onto the blue team from the explosives early on. They're trying to take some presence. They're making Froytech really work for it. They're actually able to get a kill right off the bat. Raven will end up dying from the speedy bomb. They've been forced into their own valley as Beeb launching himself forward, able to get the kill on the bottom of the sword, bombing in, trying to respawn in. Kind of only 2 left alive from the side of Froyotech, but there are heals involved in this fight against Loaf, who wants some help, but his team is not arriving. Dingo's like, no, I can't get there in time, my guy. I'm sorry. So overall, Froyotech winning the mid.
I do think that, I mean, obviously, you know, you change one thing about a fight and many outcomes can change. There's been multiple situations here where it's just Dingo and Habita alive, and I feel like if instead it was a scout with Habita rather than the demo, then you have a lot more longevity in these like messy posts. But nonetheless, Soapy is going to be sacking here. No damage onto Habita, and we'll see the counter sack might look like. Slug going towards Cafe, Loaf meeting some resistance in Valley.
I was freaking out for a moment because when I'm in bird's eye view, some of these stickies look like they could be Scottish resistance, and I had to double check. Bomb coming in from Speedy. On to Habita. Alone, no scout on him. The first rocket misses, the second rocket misses. He's A-okay. No damage.
Yep. Well played, little footwork there. And again, see what the counter sack looks like. This time he's being low into Cafe.
He's just in. Damage on the wall guy. Immediately thwarted though. Able to be taken down, and that's some room created. I mean, they need a bit before Speedy's able to arrive, but that's a roamer that's not there. If Kobe wants to find a way to get behind, they just need the confirmation that the stickies are pretty much gone and that he's able to find an opening. Trying to pressure from Cafe at least a little bit with Beam, so he's actually going to skip in, finds a demo, blasts him back. Speedy initiates as well. Is not going to live.
Soapy's behind as well.
Yeah, he took
that could be a kill here. Your spawners on the way always get floated big time by Bomo as well, who found the kill on the Speedy there as well. So no soldiers at all. Slug's going to be taking this opportunity to go behind, very heads up play, and now Froyo feeling like they might need to exchange. Yeah, they are going to be taking it into Valley, and they are chasing down this Dingo kill. Gungan full committing, giving up his life. Does look like Uber will be expended from Moneyballs in order to save Dingo's life, which there's definitely a case to drop your demo there.
There is for sure.
I would say. But nevertheless, I mean, you're still happy enough to be getting mid here. Slight disad with how much you milked that Uber. Yeah, Dingo setting up some disad traps, but I mean, we saw the Froyo dry push attempt into mid earlier, and Moneyballs did a great job of stalling with only 10, 15 disad. I think it should be even easier.
Yep, I think Froyotech just found it hard to find a reason to actually like a target to actually use their Uber on when they came in the mid the last time, and that indecision kind of left them in a rough spot to walk in and not get punished for it. So we might just see situations where they just pop straight in, and honestly, considering the ad, that would have to be the play, which, I mean, isn't always the greatest on Sunshine, considering how much room there is to cross if you were to pop just straight in into Sunshine mid. If they're already at the door, they're pretty much gone. So it makes sense on why, especially with like a, maybe like 20 ad, you're not really seeing them going.
No.
They're very much definitely showing that they are a team that's like, you can have your small advantages, we don't
It's a
care.
crit ball there.
Ooh, and he's have to
He
back
has
up.
force back. I don't even think. Yeah, they don't realize. I think that Raven knew he hit someone, but didn't realize that that was Lol Guy, because there was an opportunity to just take space there. Sack in from Loaf. Again, good damage on Lol Guy, but oh wait,
Oh, Slug with the timing? He misses the rocket though.
Oh no! Wait. That's brutal.
Yeah, he expected to immediately get dove on, so he didn't go for a second rocket, but they were a bit slow on it. He didn't know he had that time in him, but Soapy found a way behind. He's taking the pack. Froyotech has actually worked their way in for free as well. The Uber has not been used for all this space gain. The blue team does eventually have to go for the exchange. Speedy on top of the tower is taking positioning and being chased down, though. Bottom able to collect that frag. Opening the team choke. Soapy still behind. Red HP unable to really fight, which means this is basically a 6v4 without Soapy there. Able overall, some trades back and forth. Gungan trying to get some frags. Unsuccessful for now. Soapy on top of the tower. Spotted. Low guy cleaned up as one of the sole survivors on his own side of the map, and I mean, Soapy's got to find a way to either get some kills, get out, or at least be some sort of a nuisance. He goes for the skip, tries to find a timing. They are not there. Just ends up dying. And you gotta try.
With mid already capped, I mean, we saw that Moneyballs were just able to walk forward full team and just cap 2, and now Volkai just spawned. There's no Uber in play quite yet for Hubada, so you're basically tasked with the choice of, do we try to push without Uber and then maybe, you know, try and call things off, or better yet, transition into using Uber and get while we're in, or just slow down, let them get their spawners, let them set up a little bit, but take the safety of that pop through. They go for the latter option and will be using Blue Dungeon here.
Yeah, going straight through. Want to get the gun down first. They had some problems finding it the first time, but they're able to go through. Bring over one of the soldiers. They didn't get a pick early on. They almost able to get the Soapy kill, and they will. This could be the big. This is definitely a big difference compared to the last push, because now it's very decisive. You have some kills to go for. Your soldiers are weak though. They're going for the cap time. Logai doesn't have his Uber quite yet. They're getting on top of it. Hubada maybe sacrificing his life for it, and they will succeed. They definitely executed that much better. Find the gun faster. Make sure you kill one of those soldiers that goes for the block. And that's how you have a way easier post once your Uber is actually drained out to 0.
And just more patient in general. I mean, we didn't see like a super rushed cross attempt or anything like that. They were more than happy to just kind of collect kills on players that were maybe where they shouldn't be.
Habib.
Fast actually did not commit there. Got a lot of damage. He's still in danger even after a bow. You have Kobe on the height. Dingo a little weak as well.
Oh, Hubada.
Both players are rotating right side. Yeah, Hub very low. Health is not great, particularly for Moneyballs. Might see a pick come out. That makes it 2. Bomo as well might be soon to go. Speedy chased out Hubada there. Bomo 1 HP, but against a scout, that's going to be easy cleanup. Hubada left early enough that he may be getting out. He's going to be forced to 1v1 Habib here, who, oh man, I was going to say, is very killable at 40 HP, but I don't think Hubada realized that he was being chased to that extent, and does go down to a late chase from Habib.
Yeah, that is a late demo death, which is something you can kind of work with at least a little bit, but only so much so. This is still an Uber to be feared. I think that was the first time so far we saw this like ring around the rosy mid from the side of Moneyballs, and Froyotech were definitely prepared for it. They took so much damage. I almost am You almost would, like in hindsight, think that maybe Loaf should have just landed on Habib in the first place to take
Right.
him out of the equation, because he did so much damage in that cross that he was maybe one of the main reasons why that was a victory in terms of the mid-fights. And it finds themselves in this position. Full Uberad took a lot of damage on their entry, but they're able to hold it for now. They could leave one and keep going, which seems to be the plan. They had to wait for Habib, and it's going to slow things down, but this still
No
is
gun.
usable. You have to go for it. And no gun means you find another
Oh,
target.
Raven's caught.
Raven's dead. Yeah, gun's dead as
This
well.
is tough. 90% though, so if you can stall long enough to get Uber, the Habib kill here is very, very nice. That should just be enough to hold. Almost probably should meet up with some heals here.
Oh,
Actually
gets
goes
dropped.
down. There's cap time. Uber gets popped at the very least, but you would love to have someone on heavy here. Okay. These players
in
are
the
being
air.
dealt with effectively. Yeah, it's going to be a hold, but a little bit scary there for Moneyballs.
Yeah, Freya were kind of forced with how small of an ad it was to go ahead and go for a corner cap play, which didn't really work out, which is, I mean, you were kind of forced to with waiting for Habib, but you need him to take down the gun, so disad for them.
Oh, man,
They get
Freya
the
just
kill on the
busted
low,
choke.
and Kobe dying of fall damage though means it is a 1-for-1. Low guy at 50 HP means it's really hard for him to commit. This cap time almost goes in Moneyball's way, and they really send for it, but going for this dry, you can see why when Froyotech was in this scenario trying to dry off of a slim advantage in the 2, why they decided they didn't want to. It's just a meat grinder on 2.
Oh,
You're trying to
Habib's
cap
in.
and you just end up dying. You
They're
don't have
starting
the
to
Uber
get
to...
spawners.
Yeah, you don't even have an Uber to buy
What a
yourself more time.
rocket.
That, yeah, the nice rocket, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They're both
Yeah,
ready
Hubba
to be
doesn't
hub
know
this
you're getting this
first.
time around. There's spawners on the way. There's enough. No. Oh, man. Looks like Bomo just barely got focused down in time. But, yeah, all 3 players from Froyo were one-shottable. So that was kind of close, but crazy refight from Froyo 1-2. Obviously, I mean, it's risky to push out a last for reasons like that. I mean, if the fight does not go your way. I was actually surprised to see Raven not commit for a back cap with how much cap time they got on 2, actually, and how poor things were going.
Oh,
Ooh,
Soapy's behind, Soapy's behind!
Oh
He
my
gets
God.
screwed on the Hubba, Hubba's gone.
That is insane. I don't think I've seen a soldier do that ever. I've seen some crazy things on Sunshine Mid. I don't think I've ever seen a soldier jump behind through choke and just spoon the med from behind in Valley. But yet Freya were still getting forced out in the short term. Should still be their point long term.
They're careful of being on top of the point because they want to lock down the doors, but capping would be a bit of a passive position. But maybe you want a passive position because you don't want to end up dying to them just launching forward and deciding they want to slaughter your team with the Uber. If you got like 3 or 4 kills with the Uber, it wouldn't be that bad. But they are able to take it methodically. They got it for free. They're able to use this as a tool to work their way into second. And Moneyballs pretty much have the full setup to defend against this. Trying to take it slow for the choke. So be buying some room as well as Speedy. They pop right
Wow,
in. Gun
they're
gets
just sending
sent
it.
to the skybox though. Unable to chase. And
No
actually
kills.
Soapy lands on a sticky trap. So they're trying to chase in. Habib got bottom mode weak in the corner. Gungans trying to chase him and
Okay.
will succeed and get out. So overall it's a 1-4-1 trade with a flank. Low doesn't quite hit the mark. Only
Yeah.
some damage onto the Froyotech members and they're A-okay. Got this point capped up and
Yeah,
this
push out is scary here. If Hubba
Yeah.
had Uber there, then sure. But no, 50%, not really enough. And honestly, the building hasn't been great for Moneyballs, so whether you push out at all is kind of in question here.
yeah, I could see a universe where they don't push out. It
Yeah,
looks, no,
FOMO
engineer.
NG.
They don't want to, like, look at what just happened to them. I mean, granted that was a dry earlier, but even still, in their mind, they felt like, oh yeah, this is doable, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. You look at like a 25, 30 ad and be like, yeah, this is doable, we can poke early and then bomb straight through or whatever, but it's just not worth. If it was way bigger, maybe like a 60 or 70, then you could maybe see the
Right.
need for it, but otherwise no. But we
When
do
you
have
get
the
your
spy.
spawners and
It's-
you're ready and it's still like 40 ad, then
Yeah.
sure, but
It's an actual spy. It's not
Yeah.
checking for off-classes spy.
I like this. I think Spy can get behind pretty
Oh,
cleanly.
he's not on Cloak and Dagger. He has to go now. Oh, he's waddling in.
I like
Roleplay.
this,
Oh,
okay.
he gets the kill. Hey.
Wait,
at
Force as
least-
well.
Oh,
The
they did
distraction.
extra spam, yeah. They're going to lose one, though. Loaf is going to die,
Yeah.
gets killed. Juggled
Still,
into the
though,
trap by Habib.
I
But
mean, you have the level 3, you have Uber, so things should be fine here for Moneyballs.
But Froyotech is also like, 2 for an Uber is fine. Now that, losing 1 for a gun is not, and that'll spell the end of things. But they're open to trying and see if they can find a way to spam it on the gun or work eventually towards a Force. Because
Raven
losing 2 for an Uber isn't
respawning on Spy.
the most
Off
free
class
thing,
checking,
but
okay.
yeah,
I like
he's
this
got
off
to
class
check.
check because I'm surprised Bomo's coming up Engineer though, because this is full ad for them, and they are playing this exceptionally safe. Yeah, not even pushing out with full ad, which I get it. You're up around and you're on last, 2 minutes left. The reset is definitely achievable. Your mids haven't been, you know, too bad. In fact, earlier mids have been pretty good, but I almost feel like karmically, when you give up opportunities like that, the game just doesn't want to give you more, you know?
You just gotta remember that bot mode is also on G6, and he's, if I remember correctly, doing the main calling for this team. So you have two separate teams that have players on the team that are very much well known and have won championships based off the concept of, you know, don't go for the aggressive pushouts, just let it time out and hedge your bet on mid. And
Yep.
considering the mid fights, I mean, the first couple mids, Moneyballs were doing a pretty good job, you know. So
Dungeon Spinner just finds the gun.
they're not
And
unconfident in their mid fights.
we are seeing some of the risk associated with not pushing out. Is you're giving the other team opportunities to pressure into last more. Gun did go down pretty effortlessly, and we can see a 3-man or a 4-man potentially bomb in from Soapy now. How about that will just grease up away. It is a 3-man, but they're finding kills. Like, look at this. 4-man,
Mission ends in
2
60
kills.
seconds.
The
Not
Freya
too
Classic.
shabby. And I mean, if you're Froyo, you're probably fine with them pushing out here. They won't.
They
but,
won't. Yeah.
That's the thing. If you can give up 4 players and then the other team doesn't even think about pushing out, then you're having good sack attempts.
Yeah. The big question is how the mid's gonna go, because we saw 2 favorable mids from Moneyballs. Then we saw the ring around the rosy mid that, you know, that was new and Moneyballs kind of got punished for it. And then there was the spoon mid. So there's really
Yeah.
any way that this could swing. So
Exchange
they're
now.
just going through a Hail Mary. On paper, this is hard to work out, but sometimes they can, you know, medic drops, you get a kill or
Yeah.
something, it's fine. But this is too hard.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, this doesn't work, and this is one of those 9 times. So
I think the timing just didn't line up super well, where if they had maybe an extra 10-15 seconds, they would have gone for another 4-man. But yeah, here they didn't really have time for that and spawners, so you just kind of have to take the 1% exchange play.
Well, curious to see how the mids are going to go, because we've seen a vast variety of them so far, which is what we were kind of talking about. I'm sure there's still more in the tank for both these teams in terms of how to put themselves on top, because we've had a bit swingy. First 2 go in Moneyball's favors, first 2 in next 2 in Freudtech's favor for vastly different reasons. So we'll see how this goes underway. Is Loaf maybe committing on Habib? No, he's taking a lot of damage though. But
he ate the sticky there as well. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't fault Low for not just hard committing because it's such a coin flip play, but on a lot of these, if he had no speed, he just finds a bomb on a Hubba for free, who is surfing out, but no, does get dealt with. And that should just be free reign for everyone on Moneyballs to try and get Lol Guy, who is just scout speeded out of there. Yeah, not the best mid here for Moneyballs. And, I mean, they got some kills, but obviously losing Hubba, Lol Guy perfectly safe. Speedy might even be able to stop point
oh,
here
the
as
ornament,
well.
the ornament and the pistol. I think he has enough HP though. Both get taken out in a pretty
Yeah.
timely manner. They kind of recognized that Hubba was pretty much a free pick at that point. And the unfortunate thing for Moneyballs is as soon as they recognize their medic died, and they're like, okay, we need to surge forward, we need to go find a way on the low guy to equalize things. You know, the people that kind of took Hubba out of the equation just turned around and shot them in the back and prevented
Yeah.
all of them from really getting to the low guy. I think maybe one player got towards them and choke. It was a soldier, and that's pretty much it. So there was not really a chance there. As they have their live presence now. They got capped up. Only an engineer in terms of AUK classes. No sniper in case Freudtech want to milk, but that won't be an issue as the pop is
Okay.
coming through lower right now. Straight onto the dispenser, not onto the gun. They've
Yeah,
crossed to
wrong
the wrong
side.
side of the point, but the gun still
And
does
Hubba's
eventually die.
getting Uber though, so this is... And
Yeah.
using it into them. Lolguy might be caught to a chase. No, should be safe. There's enough bodies around him. So actually, that Uber not really getting too much value for Moneyballs. Obviously, they wanted more there for sure. But still,
Yeah.
a Habib kill means there's no immediate refight. You get to set back up, but obviously you prefer maybe having a little ads and picks to push out a last with rather than just having to set up evens yet again.
Yeah, that's the sketchy thing about the medic dying the first mid. I think it plagues most teams on Gully Watch where the medic explodes and then everything's drawn out and you think you still have last, or still have ad going into last. But a lot of the time, if the medic is the first to die and there's not like a wave of players afters, maybe he gets spammed
Kobe
and
Sniper here is
ornamented or something,
dangerous.
or yeah, sniped. You'll have a giant afterwards, but you actually don't. So, The Uber
Okay.
saves them. They find themselves in a stalemate. Got the sniper up in the field. Could be a thorn in their side. Raven is checking for more in case there's maybe a spy along top of it. But no surprise shots here from Tech, but maybe Kobe doesn't need it. We'll see what happens. He doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely does not. And I'm a little surprised that Dingo's caught out there. I guess that the sniper just had not been called out quite yet, which is unfortunate because now you have no demo on last. Uber actually just gets popped there, trying to find the exchange in lobby. Okay, they do get the counter pop. Yeah, Slug just got juggled very early into that Uber, so things could have gone poorly. But that's a heads-up play to take into the sniper. Obviously a class very weak in exchange situations, as Slug from Dungeon is going to find the kill on the Habib, and that is just the floodgates open for the push out.
All three in front, no worries, no traps, no nothing. Cap going Moneyball's way, and they still have this Habib kill too. They have the engineer still on 2. He went forward in case Tech tried to do something. He has the revenge crits, that's why. He's placing the teleporter around so that when he doesn't, oh, it's gonna get killed maybe by
Yeah.
Kobe.
Wait,
they
but
know
now
he's
they know
behind.
Soapy's well. He's
Yeah.
capping anyway. Oh, hit that.
Nails them with the crits.
Okay, good
Yeah.
enough.
And now he just
Oh.
builds a teleporter entrance and builds it up so he
I
can
feel
swap back
like
to
it,
spawn.
it might be faster to walk.
With this distance, it might be. But he had the Jag though.
Yeah.
He just wants to be a presence because, okay, yeah. He's
That's-
going back to spawn.
You know, if I'm in Bomo's position there, I absolutely do the same thing. Because how often you get to teleport back to spawn to switch off? And that's honestly heads up to place the exit at spawn if you're planning to push out with the revenge crits. That's not something. Yeah,
The crits
usually,
got that Soapy kill. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have, he
Well,
would have gotten out.
And NGs usually are like stuck with the decision of whether to push out or not, and a lot of the time their brain just kind of turns off when their gun is glowing. But being
Autopilot.
able to place the exit there and switch off relatively quickly definitely weighs things more in the favor of making those plays.
Nice trap on the wall at Choke. Takes Soapy out of the equation. Barely gets through the choke before he's ended up dead. So Loaf finds himself behind, takes the pack, is A-okay. Gonna try to find an angle. Need a pressure to help him though. Jumps right over Kobe, decides that, yeah, can't really commit because his team doesn't really have the ability to continue to pressure for him, and he doesn't really have that great of health anymore anyway. So just quick in, quick out. Things reset a bit as Soapy is respawning and jumping back to his team. As the ball is still in Tech's court, so far their entry has not been so lucky. As Soapy dying twice in a row on trying to find a way into 2. Surely third time will be the ticket here as they've moved their team over towards Cafe. Maybe try to bait someone in closer to the door. Usually it's Emmelman disconnected from beam by the medic to try to land on him and bomb him, but they
Slug
end up
getting focused
accidentally, yeah, they bait the soldier instead. Can't be too mad at that. It's not necessarily the target you expected, but you'll take it. Makes it much easier to continue this plan. They just run forward, on the point, Speedy bombing forward, expending some HP. Low guy taking some damage. The same can be said for
Soapy
Hubbard as this
behind.
Uber still in
He's
equation
gonna
if they
find
need to
Raven.
bail themselves out. But yeah, Raven dying. This you need to probably exchange at some point.
Yeah,
Maybe Dingo as
down
well.
goes
This is
Dingo.
bad. It's 3 people on
This
black.
is really bad.
They
Uber getting
force
popped
him.
here.
They're not on their
even gonna
terms.
Okay, they find Speedy, but that's it, and now they're stuck behind to this Fryo Uber, who's just gonna be saying, "Hey, let's just go kill the combo right now." That
Or
being
you
said,
dismantled
I
them.
mean, if you can delay here at least a little bit, maybe you can get a gun on last. Bombing from Slug. Oh,
Nice
man.
rockets though, but
Yeah.
Soapy
not
lives through it at all.
enough. That's brutal, but Fryo definitely poised to tie things up here. And I should mention as well that we are now in overtime, so for those of you who might be tuning in for the first time here for Grands, the way this works, our config is it's going to be first to 3 here. That 30-minute period is up. It's 2 rounds for Moneyballs, and now with Froyo imminently scoring their next one, we are looking at potential, well, map point for sure, but potential series point if Froyo are able to clutch it out.
Yeah, this one could be the one for all the marbles. And we've seen so many different varieties of mid-fights. I would not be too surprised if we see a completely different one. Last 2 times, really, we saw Hubba completely explode for 2 separate reasons in different locations. And we'll have to see what Moneyballs does, because they're needing to keep him alive long-term if they want to continue this fight and maybe replicate what they did in the first couple bits of the game where they were winning mids. But doing a Valley rollout, Dingo needs an arrow. Their HP is fine otherwise. Speedy, really weak, gets shoved back on the choke. Soapy bombing in, a little bit of a fade, drawing some eyes. They are shoved back. They have taken
Yeah,
so
just
much
not
damage on
even in.
Moneyballs. They don't have the positioning. Loaf's trying to like buy some
Okay,
time by
Lope
going behind.
Lope's
might
not
peel a
super
bit.
healthy either, so that's like actually a looming threat, but Lope is way back in lobby, so I think he's just planning to live behind for some time.
Yeah, he knows that they're going to send 2 back for him, and they could have started immediately chasing him as soon as they saw him jump behind, so he didn't want
Oh
to
wait, we might
mess
see an
around.
exchange here through Cafe.
Well, they know that 2 are going back for Loaf, but
Yeah.
now they're like, so Soapy and Kobe are like, at what point is too far? Like, should we stay here at mid for and like help spam to make sure their exchange is bad, or do we go back and kill Loaf? So it's like this teeter-totter thing where it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh,
Loaf is
Valley is
close
just
enough
free.
now, let's go. But yeah, they're back, their flank is leaving, so they found a way to get through for free, unspotted,
oh my god,
but
lol guy.
oh man.
Oh my god.
This
Much
is
better.
hardly an exchange.
I
They are
still
going to get
think
chased down.
Yeah.
They're going to commit. Oh, Hubba is
Hubba
dead.
does go down. A lot of damage in Cafe, but there's no one to follow up. Good lord. That's just the lol guy difference.
The start of that could have been amazing too, because they got through uncontested, unseen. This block is coming in, blocking 2. It's the only play. It's not enough.
That's
The-
it.
Getting through cleanly was so good, but then the Uber just didn't quite hit the mark,
Yeah.
and that's just how it is. So Froyotech, another round for them, and that is the map. That means that is the game. Froyotech are your Season 19 Grand Finals champions.
Yeah, Moneyball's definitely made them work for it, but nonetheless, I mean, they just proved to be just such a strong team. And, I mean, leading throughout the season, they, I believe, had, at least in their matches, hadn't dropped a round up until maybe tonight in playoffs.
They were clean regular season, and then they lost 1 round to Fjord, and then, you know, obviously
Okay,
they...
so the Fjord round was in playoffs. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, they don't have that going for them, but at the very least, like, still perfect regular season. And in the previous matchup against Moneyballs, I think held them out, didn't give up a single round. But definitely more of a fight here in Grands, but still one of, if not the strongest North American team we've seen.
Probably for a long time, yeah. I think it's a nice to see some good back and forth in a close game after seeing such a dominant Froyotech performance, simply because it's always a good reminder and experience to see the top level teams show how much they're able to adjust on the fly, even when they get put on the back foot for a little bit. You know, Froyotech being such a dominant team, still they had little moments where they had moments of struggle on Bagel in certain skirmishes, or obviously dropping the rounds here due to like the beginning mid fights not really working out their way. But it's hard to remind yourself when you go through a regular season with a bunch of roles, obviously, that you know, these teams are really good at adapting. They make a mistake, and it doesn't take them a long time, like a pause or a demo review, to like figure out like, oh, this is what we need to change, and then it working out in their favor. You see it live in front of you. So having this be a much closer of a match, I'm sure Froyotech fans would want to see their team dominate, but I think it's good to have this breath of fresh air after over a month of them kind of just rolling everyone.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen so many grand finals that are the least exciting games, so I'm very happy that this map 2, at the very least, we saw very back and forth competition, as opposed to in some years past, or even in lower bracket finals, for example, where that second map was kind of just, you know, 5-0 momentum. But yeah,
It's a testament to how good they are, though, realistically, if you think about it. Like, as much as it's good and fun to see super close games, the fact that they do have such a dominant season and are such a dominant team is, you know, is a viewing experience. You know, sometimes you don't want to see, like, a super roll in, like, 15, 20 minutes, but I'm sure, you know, when you're a player playing that situation, it feels good to crush your opponents, and even as viewers, you got to give you know, you tip your hat at least a little bit, even if you're a Moneyball fan, for how good they are, that they're able to, you know, dismantle the second place team in this fashion sometimes.
I think that a lot of the hate Froyo gets is because they're so good. Like, you just can't help but cheer for the underdogs. And even though, like, in past seasons, or at least recent seasons, Froyo haven't been like the super dominant team they maybe once was, it's still just hard to not imagine them as kind of the perpetual just winner-bound team.
We do have some of the Froyotech members joining in. Hello, guys. Congratulations on your victory.
Hey, thanks.
Do you guys feel like there was any big difference tonight compared to the upper bracket match on Thursday?
I mean, it was closer.
Definitely closer for sure.
That's for sure.
I mean, beyond
Uh,
that, I mean, like, aspects of it. Like,
I
what do you think
played-
was happening?
I mean, I was surprised they didn't pick Sunshine the first time because that was their best map,
Hmm.
and I don't know, they were just able to kite our bombs well in mid, so we had to change it up.
Yeah, definitely had to adapt to their strat. I noticed their scouts were playing a bit more hold handy too. They're playing like double scouty kind of passive, so we had to make some adjustments around that. They're playing to collect our soldiers a lot.
Oh,
Did you guys feel that on Bagel as well, the starting map? Because that's a direct comparison of, it's Gully Watch and Sunshine couldn't be different maps, obviously, but Bagel itself, surely there was at least some sort of like change, no? Or did it just feel like the same old, same old?
No, we fucked up the first round of Bagel, and then the rest was, I think it was pretty easy.
Yeah, honestly, the first round of Bagel was like literally us just like remembering how to calm in a match again and like just warming up all of our like game sense, DM. I mean, our DM was pretty warmed up, but we were like, wait, we need to like coordinate, boys. Like, we just figured it out because we didn't have a pregame cope, and we were just we just had to lock in. We got it.
I'm curious about the kind of adjustments that you guys have had to make, specifically with Bandy not being here, just lounging on the cruise. But obviously he's a huge calling component of the team and like a team leader, so how are things different with Gungan? How are things kind of the same with Gungan and what?
well, Banny, he had to kick back his feet for a little bit. He gave me the fucking call. I was like, okay. I don't know how it was different or the same. I feel like I call, I don't know, kind of a little less schizo than Banny, but
No, definitely a
But-
little less schizo, but it's he put on Froyo, so it's like the
I have
same
my
shit.
moments. I
Yeah,
definitely have my moments, bro.
we had Gun on Froyo Tech, and when I played on G6, we also had Gun. So to be honest, like it wasn't really too much of an adaptation. Like there was already like previous synergy from
Yeah.
our time together.
This team was 5 out of 6 G6 players on season 11.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, that was something I was curious about as well. Like, obviously, Bandy's on the team, so it's Froyo, but was there any discussion about whether you guys should be Froyo or G6?
There actually was. But
We're both-
we went
we're-
for you
we're-
because
we're both.
it felt
We're-
right.
We're 4G6.
Okay, that makes
It's
sense.
it's not G6 if it's not like me and Caps. I feel like
Mm.
Valid.
G6 needs caps. He's
does.
my goat.
I miss him.
Speaking of the merge, even though obviously you guys have played together for like over 2 months at this point, so it's not necessarily anything new per se, but in terms of like us being able to interview you in this fashion for a cast, it's new. How did the merge of play styles go, if there was any serious merge at all when it came to the way that Bandy calls versus the way that you said just mostly G6 players, the way that G6 players are naturally like expected, or not expected, but like just normally play? Because I would imagine there's at least some sort of like one side's got to give a little bit on like how you strategize or what your go-tos are and things like that.
Yeah, so in the beginning, Banny was trying to do it all himself. He was trying to be like the superhero and just like take control of everything, but that's not how he always did it on G6. And I think it took some adjustment for him for like other people calling and like giving ideas. But eventually it turned out pretty good, as you may be able to tell.
Yeah, and to be honest, Benny, this is something he said himself. He's able to actually relax into his position more because we all provide like our own input, and so he doesn't have to like focus on managing each and every single thing. He can actually literally just relax into his pocket scout role, and he's chill about it. And honestly speaking, everything has been way, way, way better on our team ever since that happened. Because not only can he focus on his role, I can focus on his role. Nobody has to overcompensate, and everyone is basically hashtag DYJ. That's all that matters. Discipline and DYJ.
Now, I remember hearing rumors at the start of the season that one of the motivations for this merger was some potential international LAN appearances. I don't know if that's public knowledge or something that can be leaked, but is that something that's on your guys' purview? Are you thinking of continuing to play together as a unit?
Listen, there's a portal that has opened in Poland. It will take you to a mysterious faraway land known as Agartha, and we have to defend it. and enter the portal.
The only way.
It's
That
the only way.
sounds so crazy if you don't understand the memes.
If you don't understand the meme, you don't know.
We're working it out.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
a goal.
All right, we'll have to wait with some bated breath then and see what's in store. When it comes to the match itself, honestly, you guys did a really good job. Or the victors, congratulations once again. But any MVPs? Who was the one that carried the torch for the team that really made sure the victory was as easy as it was in some points?
I don't even know. I think we all played
I
well
feel
together.
like yeah, there wasn't like a single moment where I felt. I mean, there was like a lot of clutch moments, obviously, but like I feel like everyone carried their weight tonight, and it was like really good. So I'm gonna say the team is the MVP.
I think Speedy on Bagel, to be honest.
Yeah.
No, Speedy wasn't nuking. It
Speedy on
was crazy.
Bagel.
Speedy Bagel?
I give it to Speedy on Bagel and Low Guy on Sunshine.
Long guy Sunshine, definitely, because we had to recalibrate, and he was definitely holding us down, 10 tones deep. No cap.
Thank you, Speedy. Thank you.
Any other questions or thoughts from you, Rumpus?
No, I think we covered all our bases. Again, congrats, guys.
Any final shout-outs before we go ahead and close out the streams, starting with Gungan?
Yeah, shout out to Lil Guy, Kobe, and Speedy for setting up another cozy playoffs run for me. That's 2 championships now off of a ring, so thank you. And then shout out, all my chords, all my boys, Wampus. That's all.
Habib?
Shout outs to the team. Good season, good boys. Looking forward to doing some damage, just to say that. Shout outs to you guys, killing it on the cast as usual. Shout outs to the chat. Shout outs to Skis. Shout outs to Logan Caps. Shout outs to Eric. Yeah. Shout outs to the biggest. Shout outs to the
Guy?
biggest.
Shout out to my teammates and everyone who watched, everyone who played, and even though it was a small season, thank you to everyone who played. Shout out to the one team that scrimmed us, Bombwood's team. Thank you for being the only team that scrimmed us. Yeah, looking forward to the future.
I think we lost our casters. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching.
Yeah, our
Thanks
casters
for
are
watching.
gone. Our
They all
casters are...
disconnected. So I'll take
Nah,
over
Nah, we're
the stream
taking
now.
over this bitch.
Ladies
No,
and
no, hey,
gentlemen.
I got some shit I want to say.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, Sophie.
Sophie.
Speak your truth.
Shout out to G6. I miss you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. So I know some of you guys were watching. Shout out to you know what? Actually, shout out to Zam, because Zam would actually make puck streams for us during the season.
True.
And that was like the only other team that like actually scrim us was like, and it wasn't even a team, it was just Zam. So shout out to them. And,
Sam. Patty made a couple. Sandblast.
Patty
Shout outs
too.
to the homies.
Shout out
Giving us good
Sandblast, man.
practice. Yeah, shout out Sandblast, no cap. Shout out Sai too.
Trying to think if I'm missing anyone.
You gonna shout me out for ringing for your fearless leader, or?
Oh, yeah,
No,
no,
shout-
no.
Shout outs to the biggest, bro, the biggest.
Yeah, that's all I got.
What about you, Rumpus? Any shout-outs?
Back?
A little disappointed Gungan didn't shout out KJR, so I'll do that on his behalf. But yeah, that's it.
Yo, shout outs to the Qing Dynasty.
Oh my god, bro. Yo, shut up, Pingus.
Pingus! Dr. Robotnik. Dr. Robotnik.
All right, well, it was a very dominant season, and it's maybe a sign of what's to come later on, as Tech are still making moves and trying to find a way to dominate in other areas. We'll have to wait and see, but either way, definitely congratulations to all you guys. It was a good and fun night to watch. And that's going to conclude this season of Invite, Season 19. You know, it's going to be a bit before we see some more action. And I know there's still the lower divisions are still ongoing with their regular season and their playoffs and stuff. So there's still more TF2 to watch. There's also the Highlander that's also going on, et cetera, et cetera. But there won't be much more sixes until the end of the year. Actually, not even just the end of the year, but probably like, late Jan, early Feb, something like that. So it might be a bit to get your invite fixed. So make sure you catch it where you can, because you never know where you're going to have an extended break like this and be fiending for more. But sadly, you know, despite how it looks to the future of Season 20 and potential land endeavors might look, you know, for now, it'll come to a quick, not an end, but a pause. So thank you so much for watching. I've been Jarrett, casting with Rumpus with Dolphin on production. Thank you and good night.